welcome back, everyone. Welcome back. Welcome back to another week, another edition of the Tenacious Turtle Tussle, week number 16. Oh my, 16 weeks. We have made it. Welcome back to your weekly dose of Open StarCraft, a tournament open to all regions, all shapes, all sizes. I'm of course your live VIP. With me, I'm joined by these amazing players, by the people in the chat as well. Massive shout out to Stegosaurus, Proto-Stegosaurus, for the 5 gifted subs to the community. Thank you so much for the support. Not just the support in the chat, but also the support in the tournament. For those who don't know, usually this event is 150 USD, but thanks to our lovely supporter and passionate StarCraft fan in the chat, Proto-Stegosaurus, it is 300 USD is the prize pool. We are jumping into our first series and spawning in the bottom right hand corner of Oceanborn. We have the green Protoss player representing CSO Esports. It is UED Soldier. And spawning in the top left-hand corner, we have his opponent. We have the red Zerg player from the land of Costa Rica, representing Team License to Kill. It is Eon. Here we go. I do need a moment here to set up the player names and set up the UI. I got you covered. Bam. There we go. So we know who everyone is, but yes, thank you so much for the support in the chat, and welcome everyone, welcome one and all. Exclamation mark B in the chat if you guys want to have a look at the bracket yourselves. The bracket is stacked. The bracket has some killer players, some insane signups this week. I mean, last night we had Bjorn. Bjorn did sign up for Sparkling Tuna Cup, and this morning we have not just Bjorn, we have Shin as well, and many other players. So we'll see if anyone can stop Bjorn versus Shin facing off in the grand finals. We'll see if any of these other players can rise to the challenge. I believe they can. And we're here to find out. We're here to bear witness. Also, a shout out to Little Mac. Little Mac is covering other matches throughout the event towards the upper half of the brackets. I believe covering Medic Jr. into Bjorn. So Little Mac has you covered when it comes to some other matches not being featured here. Now we can focus on our ZVP. For the time being, Hatchgas Pool, standard opener. Standard opener so far out of Eon, settling into his own mid-game. Likewise, we do have UED Soldier going for a standard opener as well. But I'm sure aggression is on the table. I'm sure aggression is on the horizon here for our players. Again, both UED Soldier and Eon known for their mid-game, known for their aggressive openers. And there it is, a Twilight Council for UED Soldier. This can lead into Glaive Adepts, this can lead into Dark Templar. We have options with how aggressive and how assertive we want to be. So UED Soldier, he does throw down the gauntlet, is going to be opening up with the Twilight Council, will be delaying his expansion as a result. Meanwhile, Eon back at home, droning. Eon is droning on up. Eon's still in the dark as to what's going on. It's going to be up to the Overlord. It's going to be up to Eon to figure out and piece together how aggressive his opponent is about to be. Here we go. As we do have our Robo being thrown down on the low ground, so it's going to be Twilight Council into Robo. We have pulled out a gas, should be Glaives. Should be Glaive Adepts, otherwise we would have 3 and 3 in that gas geyser. Oh, hold on a minute. Sorry, my apologies, but we are back. We can focus on our games, and here we go. We do have Glaives, as I mentioned before, because we did pull out, because we only have 2 and 2. It is going to be Glaive Adepts here from our Protoss player, and we do have Eon rushing into a bit of an earlier lair instead. Oh, we're good. Here we go. We do have our fast lair out of Eon. No tech yet, though. No Roach Warren, so I'm a little bit concerned. Not gonna lie, as Adepts are massing up, getting ready to break out across the map. The Adepts are here, the Prism as well, and UED Soldier, he's moving out. He is committing. Now, this is not an all-in. I should emphasize that. Ideally, though, you do want to get some damage done as we expand and transition back at home. So UED Soldier, the pressure is on. Likewise, Eon back at home. No Roach War, none at all. It's going to be Ling Queen to defend. Oh, Eon is in trouble. I was hoping that with the lair would come a Roach Horn, but alas, there is no Roach Horn. There's no Bathing Nest either. It's purely Lings and Queens. This is going to be a tough hold for Eon. And the game may just end as you'd have to say shade into the mineral line. Lings are going down, drones are going down as well, and this is becoming critical damage. This is becoming far too much already. 6, 7 drone kills, efficient trades against the Lings, shading into the main, and more drones are going down. Eon caught with his pants down. He did not scout the main, was unaware what was going on, did not play it safe. No safety Roach War, no safety Bailey Nest, 14 drone kills, and UD Soldier, he is still not done. Plenty of adepts up and running, dipping in between the natural, in between the third base, catching more workers. 28 Lings in production will eventually clean this up, but by then, I mean, UD Soldier, he's happily mining off of 42 workers, building up immortals for a Roach counterattack. There is no Roach counterattack, there is no Roach Warren. More adepts is all we need. Just keep warping in. Adept wave after wave of adepts. Not like this, Pappy, not like this. And Eon will stem the tide. He will slow things down and eventually force back the army, but the adepts are still alive. They still have not been dealt with, and Eon is down to 25 drones, barely an economy. Roach War now being thrown down. We have a lair, but we can't really make use of it. And in this kind of game state, all the UD Soldier really has to do is just calm things down, settle into his third base, macro up, but he's not even doing that. So, I mean, there's no need to. May as well just go for the kill. The Immortals have arrived. The Glaive Adepts have amassed once again for the second wave, for the second round. And Eon has almost nothing to defend. Has Lings, and Lings, they melt against this amount of Adepts. Zerg players in the chat, look away. Look away. It's not going to be pretty. So here we go. The third base does fall. And now the army's making its way towards the natural again. Still only purely linked to defend. The adepts have arrived. And Eon is going to make his final stand. Tries to dive in. Oof. Does attempt to. And UD Soldier will be able to as well. Shading into the main. Back and forth between the main base and the natural. And catching up the Spore Crawler. And we're hanging in there, but we're making roaches. Let's go! Roaches, but we have immortals. This is the problem. We already have immortals here on the front lines. Even if roaches did en masse, we have immortals to help deal with them. Things are falling left and right. The main base falls. The Queens, they try to snipe that prison. The last prison will barely get away. And they just keep bouncing. They just keep bouncing between the bases, between the middle lines. GG, and UD Soldier will take game number 1. GG. Let's go. See in the chat. Lads priorities. StarCraft number 1 fired up. It's all good. It's all good. It's fine, Papi. It's fine. Where's that meme? I'm surrounded by fire. Don't worry about it. As we are jumping in. We still have the 3 great weeklies on Monday, only not from ESL anymore. Yeah, we got you. We got you. But yeah, we're covering this weekly. Of course, this tournament did originally replace the ESL Americas weekly, but of course we made room for the Orsasaurus Cup, and of course we're going to be covering that here, as always. Likewise, we're going to be covering the Wardy event as well, but we won't be covering the KSRS, the Kalaris Steadfast Rotterdam event. We'll be sleeping. We'll be in bed. We'll be in bed, but here we go. We're getting into game number 2, and spawning in the bottom right-hand corner of Site Delta, we have the green Protoss player representing CSO Esports. Leading the series 1-0, it is UD Soldier. And spawning in the top left-hand corner, we have as opponent, we have the Costa Rican Zerg player, the Red Zerg representing Team License to Kill, LTK. It is Eon. Here we go. And we'll see if Eon is able to get a read on what's going on this time, respond to his opponent. We mentioned earlier that UD Soldier is known for his aggression. It's not like he was all in last game, but was an aggressive start, and if you don't respect the aggression, then things can go south real fast, real quick, as we saw in that first game. So I imagine that this time Eon is going to be taking a bit of either a safer approach or a more aggressive one and try and turn the tables on the Protoss. The tremendous Tortoise tournament. Ah, let's go. As here we go, we do have our gate expand. The gate expand to the side, of course, standard opener here out of UED Soldier. Likewise, scouting across the map, UED Soldier does confirm the hatch gas pool, does confirm that Eon is not going for an earlier gas geyser or earlier spawning pool. So far, standard opener out of our Zerg player. So far at least. Again, I'm sure Eon is ready to turn the tables on his opponent, I would imagine. Does come off as that kind of player, but we'll see. We shall see. Likewise, the pylon has been thrown down. Now, this pylon is thrown down closer to the main base for UED Soldier, so the chances of this being a Twilight Council opener is a little bit higher. I say that only because usually, there we go. Usually, if it's a Stargate opener, the pylon will be thrown down closer to the edge of the main base. So as it's further back, it is harder to scout. It is a Twilight Council. This could once again be Glaive Adepts. I mean, there's no reason to deviate just because, I mean, it worked amazingly in the first game. What I will say, though, is that the chances of Eon throwing down a safety Roach Warren are a lot higher this time. They are a lot higher. Twilight Council has been thrown. Now we pull out of gas. Okay, Glaives. It's going to be Glaives, not Dark Templar. If we pull back in, we can commit to a more Dark Shrine-based opener. Meanwhile, very early Baneling Nest. Eon going for the sub 3-minute Baneling Nest. It does feel like this is a more aggressive kind of response here by Eon. You can defend against Glaive Adepts with Ling Bane. True, you can defend. It is difficult, but it is possible. But with a Baneling Nest this early on, Eon wants to bust. Eon, he wants to be the aggressor. He wants to bust across the map. We'll see if Eon can hit first, or if UED Soldier masses up enough adepts in time. As here we go, Lings are amassing for Eon. 18 Lings on the way. Baneling Nest almost done, and we're going for the bust. One way or another, the game is about to end. Either Eon kills UED Soldier or he dies trying. And there is no shield battery. No shield battery on the low ground. Adepts are still not ready as the gateways have not warped in. The gateways are still on the way. And here we go. The Banelings, they're coming. 8 Banelings morphing in here for Eon. Still more Lings fighting across the map. And without a sentry, without a backup building, without a shield battery, this wall is about to go down. This adept, I should say, is going to go down. And here we go, the Banelings have arrived. Eon, he pulls a trigger. He commits. First adept falls. The Stalker as well. The Lings, they flood in. And we're going for the full surround. Sentry does warp in. A good reaction here out of UED Soldier. Does force wheel the ramp. But still only 2 adepts to work with. Good juggling here, saving the adepts just barely. Lings, though, they're still flooding in. The wall is about to be broken. Lings, they can flood in, Pappy. Go for it. They get a gateway. And they depower the gateways. Gateway does fall. There's still 2 gateways in the main. We can still warp in 2 units at a time, but probes are falling down, and we are busting into the main. No shield battery. No shield battery in the main base. 2 adepts. They get surrounded. Once again, though, the Prism is here to juggle to micro those units. There's 3 adepts left. 3 adepts trying to hold on, but that's 19 probe kills already. Oh, the Lings are being cleaned up, at least in the main. What about the natural? What about the natural? The Cybercore falls. No more adepts. Despite the gateways, no more adepts can be warped in. Yeah, only Zealots. Only Zealots left to defend. More Lings rushing forward. Banelings now on the way as well for UED Soldier. 1 Baneling. Can it connect to the middle line? It's going to be on UED Soldier to try and focus it down, but he cannot. The Baneling will crash in. Massive connection. GG gets called, and Eon ties up the series 1-1. Let's go. GG, well played. We are going to the ace match. We're going all the way to game 3. And one way or another, the series will end here in that final game. Now, we've had aggression out of the Protoss. We've had aggression out of the Zerg. After seeing UED Soldier go for Glaive Adept builds 2 games in a row, I imagine now we deviate. I imagine now he's going to mix it up here in game 3. I imagine. We'll see. We'll see, Pappy. We'll see. Catching up with the chat. Oh. Looks like we are going to be remaking the lobby. All good. And the final game is going to be on Crimson Court. Since our Lings will be able to handle this. I think that was in reference to the last game. Copium, Bobby. Copium. Again, the answer to the adepts, either Banelings or Roaches. But we'll see. We'll see if we commit to adepts again or if we go down a different path. Imagine that's going to be the case. And here we go in the, well, we do have in the bottom left-hand corner of Crimson Court, we have the green Protoss player being forced into the ace match. We'll see if we can bring it back. Representing CSO Esports, it is UED Soldier. And spawning in the top right-hand corner, we have the Costa Rican Zerg player, the red Zerg representing Team License to Kill. Bringing it back and forcing the ace match. Can he keep going? It is Eon. Let's go. We have our ace match here. It all ends here. It all ends on Crimson Court. Now, there are some cheeky builds you can go for on this map, especially if you decide to mine out some mineral patches and try to skirt around the edge towards your opponent's natural. Otherwise, we could see a bit of a different game state here. There is this center base with a recharging gas geyser. If you take this, you can go for a 3-base or even a 2-base all-in. A little bit later on down the line, go for a Queen Walk or Roach all-in across the map. Was quite prevalent on Crimson Court, especially in the early days of the map pool, the earlier months. We'll see. We'll keep an eye on any kind of deviation here. Again, UED Soldier, every game so far has gone for a Twilight Council opener into 4-gate glaives. I'm sure we're gonna mix it up, right? I'm sure we have something else. Hippie. In chat, I'm calling DTs. I mean, that wouldn't be a bad call. Alright, it could be a DT opener. We could be seeing something like a standard Stargate opener. Pylon gets thrown down once again right next to the gas geyser, once again closer to the chest. This could still be a Stargate opener, but I'm leaning more towards Twilight Council. Twilight Council could be a crazy Robo opener into a Disruptor drop. True. I mean, there's options. There's options for UED Soldier. Meanwhile, standard opener out of Eon. Eon staying in gas. Uh-oh. Is staying in gas. This should be for a fast lair, for a fast Roach War, and the gas is usually not mined this early on without good reason. So bear that in mind as well. Eon has aggression on the mind. Across the map, Twilight Council once again. But as we mentioned before, just because the Twilight Council could still be a Dark Shrine, could be Glaive of Depths, could be a combination of the two. This time, though, we're staying in. Oh, spoke too soon. Never mind, it's 4-gate glaives. We pull out of gas. It looks like 4-gate glaives for third time. Third time's the charm. True. I mean, hey, it worked in game 1, and now it's happening again here in game number 3. As glaives should be being researched momentarily. Meanwhile, across the map, it's the same build as last game. That was just under 3-minute Baneling Nest. That was like 2:55 Baneling Nest timing here for Eon. Just like the last game, it looks like another Bane Bust. Against what should be Glaive Adepts. Gas is being mined, extra gateways are being thrown down. Oh boy, there it is. Glaives are on the way. I'm getting a bit of deja vu, but it's looking very similar to the previous game state here. And UED Soldier has no follow-up scout. There's no adept moving out. There's no probe scout either. But, oh, we do have a second pylon at the wall. And we have a stalker on the front lines. Big difference this time. Okay, so a stalker takes many more banelings to bring down than an adept does. A stalker is very tanky. It's very robust. Takes a lot to bring down. I'm concerned now for Eon. That's going to be 7 banelings holding in. I actually don't think 7 banelings is enough to bring down the stalker. I'm pretty sure we need more than that, but we'll see. As Eon now checks the front lines, spots the Stalker. Banelings roll in. Yeah, it takes 11. I'm pretty sure it takes 11 Banelings. The Stalker does survive, and he's happy. Against Stalkers, they can take a good amount of Banelings to the face, and they're fine. And here we go. The build is coming underway. Glaive Adepts finishing up in 10 seconds. Another Stalker, another wall. I'm pretty sure we've seen games where if there's a shield battery behind the Stalker, a Baneling Bust will kill the Gateway and the Cybercore before the Stalker. Like, the Stalker will live, surrounded by destruction. It's crazy, just how robust Stalkers are. But I like this out of Eon. He backs off. He's joining up. Because of this, he can still deal with Glaives. We mentioned before that you can use these Banelings defensively, but the drone count for Eon is in the gutter. Like, the drone count is in dire straits. Eon has to drone up heavily here. Ay. As he does get dropped in. Going for the drones. Gets one. Gets two. Two drones go down. And this is already good damage. Even trading with the Banelings. And here comes the rest of the army. Behind this, UD Soldier. Yep. Getting a third base, working towards immortal production. UD Soldier going for a longer game state. Remember, 4-gate Glaives is not all in. And UD Soldier can now expand and get further ahead. Meanwhile, Eon is going for a secondary all-in, mining through the mineral patches. UD Soldier, he doesn't see! He doesn't notice! Eon's crazy. Let's go. The wall is open. The drone will reveal itself, though. And here we go. Lings, they flood in. The force field is a little bit too late. Does cut off a good amount of Lings, though. Yeah, second force field behind this. One sentry goes down. Second and third sentry as well. But there's another sentry on the way, warping in just in time. Yeah, just perpetual force fields. UD Soldier holds. Again, a very fast reaction, throwing down those force fields. Does wall up. Meanwhile, Eon rotating around, going for the third. And the third base is going to fall. Third base does get surrounded. Army does respond, and can Eon snipe that third base in time? The Lings, they should be able to. Yeah, third base does fall. Nice pick off here from Eon. From here, he can pull back and drone. He can, but will he? The expansion has fallen. UD Soldier did wall off. Did wall off. And Eon is still barely joining up. 36 workers. Eon, he's hoping for a counterattack. He's praying that the UD Soldier goes for a move out. But UD Soldier is building up into Colossus. The bay is done. Thermal Lance on the way. And it's just going to be building up back at home and going for a depths to harass. Still no third, and Eon confirms. He has no Overlord towards the left, he has Lings towards the right. Looks like UD Soldier does intend on expanding on the left-hand side. He's mining through those minerals. He's mining through the wall. Eon's still building up back at home. Depths for the mineral line, though, and drones are going down. So far, only one worker. There we go, plenty of Lings to defend. UD Soldier forced to lift up. And soon it's going to be go time for Eon. Now the Observer does see everything. The Observer in between the bases spots the army. That's why UD Soldier is not moving out. That's why he knows it's not safe to. He sees the army and he sees lack of saturation. He sees everything. Now UD Soldier, he knows his win condition is defend. Just defend and expand. And Eon, things are looking more and more dire as time goes on. Does mine through all the minerals. And we're going for a massive move out. Now, likewise similar to the Observer, Eon also sees the main army. He sees 3 Colossus, sees the shield batteries. But can he break this position, though? Eon forced back into the main once again. Still committed. And here we go. It's all or nothing for Eon. He is completely all in. Is going to be all in, but against 2 shield batteries, against all these sentries, that's the biggest problem here. There's a lot of Ling Bane, but with force fields, UD Soldier should be fine. Should be. I mean, there are some Ravagers to bring them down. It's going to be a very, very intense fight here, but there we go. Lings, they engage. Force fields are thrown down. They're just walling off the main army. The Roach Ravager can't engage. The Lings melt. Overcharge gets popped, and UED Soldier, he shuts down this army completely. So many force fields. And as the game progresses, it's getting worse and worse for Eon. Still barely saturated back at home. Massing up more Lings, more Roaches. At this point, I mean, Eon can't drone. At this point, like, it's too late for that. And here comes the counterattack. And UED Soldier still has plenty of energy for more force fields. Is pushing forward. Once again, does cut off the army. Ling Bang gets shut down. UED Soldier, he just keeps going in. Gets a queen. Snipes the queen, cuts off more roaches. Yeah, this straight point is brutal. We get some decent piles. They do connect. But we need more than a handful of piles here. As the UED Soldier is gaining ground, pushing forward into the bases, into the expansion. Oof. Does connect with a sentry at least. Takes down a couple of units here and there. But even the Observer still lives, still survives. And over time, the base is getting lower and lower. Shaving off more Roach Ravager. Just very delicate micro here from UED Soldier. He knows he doesn't have to commit. Just poking in whenever he can. Sniping units almost for free. Gets the hatchery. Gets 7 drone kills at the same time. Adepts, they shaved into the main. Yeah, now he died. He goes for the dive. Dives on the main army. GG gets called, and UED Soldier will take the series 2-1, advancing on to the next round. GG. GG, well played. Congratulations, UED Soldier will take the series, and my condolences to Eon. Again, Eon did have a plan of attack, of course, in Game 2 to punish the build of his opponent, but after that punish, UED Soldier just went for the same build, but went for a slightly different variation. Remember, 2 pylons on the low ground, and more importantly, a Stalker to wall off, not an Adept. There was that Stalker instead, which did mean that the amount of Banelings that Eon had was just not enough. It was just not enough to break through, not enough to bust the natural. It was only 7 Banelings. And as we saw, there were you do need plenty more, again 11 or so, to bring down a Stalker. With that, GG. GG, well played. Oh. And we're going to be following UED Soldier into the next round. Going to be following him in the next round. Exclamation mark B in the chat if you guys want to have a look at the back yourselves. Let us head on over. So that I do apologize. Bam, got you covered. We'll be switching our scenes. We can catch up on the bracket again. We actually haven't had a look at the bracket the entire broadcast so far. That was just our first series, but let's quickly head on over. We do have a Medic Junior versus Defiance that's currently going over on the Little Mac stream. Little Mac Twitch channel. He's going to be covering Medic versus Defiance, leading into Beyond. We have Inexorable. Oh, big win. Oh my god, Inex. Bappy, calm down. Takes down Rebellion 2-1. That's a big win for Inexorable. Takes down the Korean Protoss player. Waiting for the winner of Beyond, Defiance, and Medic Junior. Scrolling down, we have Mixu. Mixu takes down Luciano 2-0. Nikic gets a walkover over Meowdoom. And we have Mixu versus Nikic in a ZVZ to advance on to the semifinals. Scrolling down, we have Shin. Shin up against Altair. Or Alter? Altair? Hold on. Where are we? Yeah. They're up against each other. Winner goes up against Xingming. I believe he did take down Hydra 2-0. We have Shameless taking down Patches 2-1 as well. And we have our next series. Shameless versus UED Soldier in a PvP. That is coming up next on the channel. Let's go. Just making sure everything's set up. Also, I do apologize. I did not have predictions open for the last series. I will have predictions open for this one, though. I was just a little bit frazzled when it came to the start of the tournament. So I do apologize for that. Do apologize. But I got you covered this time. As vetoes are underway. And we are getting ready for our next series. Oh. Just catching up with the chat. One trick pony Protoss. I mean, he got away with it, right? And again, there was a slight variation to the build as well to make sure that UD Soldier kept himself safe against a Bane Bust. So, did adapt. One mineral line, one bathing, one mission. Yo. Pulled it off. And it looks like we have our lobby. Beaters are done. We have our lobby. We're going to be jumping into our fresh best of 3. It's going to be our first quarterfinals match. Jumping into UD Soldier versus Shameless. So we have a Protoss confirmed for the semifinals. The tournament progressing a little bit faster this time. Let's go. There's no Hon Mono to slow things down. Este Hon Mono. But yeah, really excited to see some fresher faces in the event this week. We have some regulars that we saw previously, of course, but yeah, I believe this is Shin's debut in a CranKy Ducklings tournament. I don't think Shin has taken part before. Exciting. But here we go, we have our next series, and spawning in the bottom right hand corner. Spawning in the bottom right hand corner of Oceanborn, we have our green Protoss player representing clan, or representing team SCO Esports, or CSO Esports. It is UD Soldier. Why do I keep saying SCO? I don't. It happened during the podcast as well. I don't know why. And sporting in the top left, we have the blue Protoss player representing Twisted Minds. It is Shameless. The PvP is upon us. Let's go. And again, we're used to PvPs here on the channel, used to hosting the Sparkling Protoss Cup. And to have at least our initial PvP and maybe one in the next round. We'll see, we'll see. Best of luck to our other competitors. As now it's just going to be, I believe, a 2-gate opener versus 2-gate opener. We'll see if anyone is crazy enough to go for a faster expansion or go for the Cybercrow follow-up. Probe Scout is coming in, and the second gateways are being thrown down. Okay, we're all good. So far, everything's looking as it should. We'll see if either player commits to a proxy. Commits to aggression. Yeah, getting in position to scout, to get a read on each other's second pylon location. Interestingly enough, okay, second pylon has been thrown down. Shameless does scout, does confirm, is aware that everything's on the up and up. Meanwhile, UD Soldier, interesting, going to be hiding his own... Oh, no, never mind. Okay. Does keep his probe hidden here, and the third pylon gets thrown down out of the map. Okay. Ooh. As UD Soldier does lose his scouting probe, but did get eyes on the second pylon. I'm sure UD Soldier a little bit upset about losing that probe. Smooge. But the pylon has been thrown down, and we'll see what UD Soldier goes for. Proxy Stargate, or Robo, or even just a gateway. The pylon is set. Shameless checking for the expansion. Extra pylon gets thrown down. But this pylon is actually unnecessary, so UD Soldier is trying to sell a story here. It's a one-base all-in. There we go. The fake out is real. One base all-in. Now, this is an inefficient variation of one base all-in, just because we have extra pylons. But it is designed to sell a story. And does Shameless fall for it? Back at home, Stargate opener. Stargate for Shameless. Aye, aye, aye. Adepts shading across the map. Oh no! I forgot the predictions. Okay, I got you. It's late, but I got you. God damn it. I was so engrossed. Adepts shading in. Ooh, UD Soldier late to wall off. Yeah, no wall off. 2 Adepts can one-shot probes, and probes are going down. UD Soldier trying to commit to an all-in, but is being stifled already. It's going to be 5, 6, up to 7 probe kills, and we're going for more, and there's still nothing to deal with this. Uh-oh. Meanwhile, across the map, likewise, UD Soldier also in the main, gets 5 probes, but only 5. Force a shade out, still more Adepts on the way, and Shameless is not done. Oh my god, 15! 15 probe kills. At the same time, UD Soldier just does shade in, he commits. Chaos ensues, probes are going down all over the place across the map and back at home. But Shameless does double the damage with half the units. The Adepts are still alive! They're still going! No shot! They're still going ham. They get every single worker. UD Soldiers completely all in. It's all or nothing with this army. 2 Stalkers, a Sentry, an Adept, and a Dream. Catches a Stalker, not bad. Gets 1 Stalker kill, going for the pylon. Shameless doesn't have much to work with, but there we go. Does warp in back at home. 3 Stalkers and an Oracle. It does dive in. Gateways are depowered. But Shameless, he catches out the Sentry. GG gets called. There's nothing left, and Shameless holds. Shameless takes game number 1. GG. Oh my god. Shameless does take a lead. Again, a very chaotic game state where we had UD Soldier setting up for a 1-base all-in, for an attempted, hidden and slightly more inefficient 1-base all-in, but alas, 2 Adepts shaded into the main base, and 2 Adepts ended the game. All it took was 2 Adepts, 2 speedy boys for Shameless. They got into the main base, and they killed everything. Literally everything. It was crazy. No defensive warp in from UD Soldier, no fear, but maybe a little bit of fear is okay. Maybe. So there's actually nothing at home to defend. And now we're jumping into the second game. And spawning in the bottom left-hand corner of Crimson Court, we have our green Protoss player representing CSO Esports. Down in the series, we'll see if he can bounce back. It is UD Soldier. And spawning in the top right-hand corner, we have his opponent. We have the blue Protoss player representing Team Twisted Minds. It is Shameless. Here we go. So a very chaotic game 1, and I'm sure game 2 is going to be similar. I'm hoping for that to be the case. That's why I love PvP. They're often one of the shorter mirror matchups, not the shortest. More often than not, it's very aggressive, very chaotic, all-ins, proxies, aggression. That's what we love. What we love about PvPs. Now, every now and then, sure, we can get some Phoenix Wars, or we can get some back and forth, mid to late game, disruptor on disruptor action. But nah. I'm all about the early game, man. Let's go. As the probe does dip in. Gateways are thrown down, and UD Soldier this time planning to throw down a hidden fake proxy pylon. Okay. The probe is out. Pylon about to be thrown down. And yeah, this time UD Soldier, he won't commit to any real aggression, just some fake aggression. This time just trying to get into the mind of Shameless and trying to force an overreaction. Now, it is more difficult to hide a proxy or hide even a fake or real proxy on Crimson Court, just because there's that much less kind of area to maneuver. What I mean by that is, 2/3 of the map are cut off by minerals, by rocks, of course. There's that much less to scout. And Shameless is looking for the pylon. He's looking for that hidden second pylon. And we'll rally over, we'll check the 3rd base location, and we'll go even further than that, and we'll find the pylon itself. Shameless does spot it, so very nice scouting pattern. Shameless is aware. And as a result, Shameless will not overreact. Back at home, Stalker into Adept, taking into a Stargate first. So Shameless does delay his expansion in favor of the Stargate. Meanwhile, UD Soldier goes for the Nexus first. So slightly more economic for UD Soldier, more aggressive for Shameless. Aggression is here, or is coming. First Adept threatening a Shade. There's no wall off. Adept Shade's in. And the Adept will confirm the lack of tech, will confirm the expansion, of course, and will even catch a couple of probes. 2 probes going down. Getting a 3rd probe as well. Oh, bit of a misclick there. Just 2. Only 2 workers do fall. Hallucination across the map. And now it's on Shameless here. Try to get that Oracle across the map and deny the scouts. Hallucination will get in though. UD Soldier gets eyes on everything in the main base. We'll get eyes on the Stargate and the building Oracles. He knows. UD Soldier is aware. And should be getting ready back at home. There we go. We do have a warping of 2 Stalkers. No shield battery. But the Stalkers have arrived. Oracle dipping in. Doesn't get much done. Doesn't take any hull damage though. 2nd Oracle has arrived. 2 Oracles do one-shot probes. So Shameless still has potential for damage. He has that potential. Shameless also saw all those Stalkers, so might be a little bit fearful. Shield batteries on the way. Blink behind this for Shameless. UD Soldier still has no tech. As UD Soldier attempts to mine down those minerals, but is going to be punished. But yeah, no Twilight Council, no Robo, no Stargate. I mean, I say that, my apologies. Robo here at the Natural. So for a Robo opener. Should be into Immortals. Alas, goes right into a 3rd. He's crazy. Oh my god. He's being so greedy. 3rd base on the way. Without much to work with. Very greedy play by UED Soldier. Another 4 probes go down. And Shameless is aware. And it's going to be on Shameless to punish. And that's a lot of Stalkers with Blink. Shameless going for a later 3rd. But makes up for it with a larger army. UED Soldier is now working on his first Immortal. And we'll see if he can save and hold on to that 3rd base. Here we go. Again, Shameless, his goal here is to force a cancel on the 3rd, or even try to pull apart his opponents and even end the game. Would be possible. But UD Soldier, he does have enough to defend. Stalkers have arrived, going for the pylon initially. They get a probe, they get a pylon. Ooh, that's a kill, not a cancel. Even supply blocking UD Soldier, and now we can blink into the main as well. And Shameless does go for the dive. Gets a pylon, can trade with the Stalkers. So far, good control here by Shameless. Ooh, does run into the main army. Oh my god, the stasis, calm down. No! Oh, the stasis does go off, catches all the sentries. Massive connection. Not like this. Fake Immortal diving in, but Lassa is going to be targeted down. Shameless has another stasis. Bearing in mind, behind this, he is expanding. Nexus getting low. And UD Soldier is still supply blocked. 5 pylons on the way. The Nexus will go down. And Shameless, he can just blink away. For the most part. Does get caught out. Letting out some Stalkers, but that was still worth it. Still very worth it here for Shameless. Brings down the base. Has his zone. Massing on more Stalkers. And UD Soldier just doesn't have enough to counterattack. Is getting to a 3rd Immortal, but UD Soldier may just have to go for a 2-base all-in. At this point, is far behind. Not like this. 3rd Immortal pops. Bay is on the way. Okay. Bay is on the way. That's a way to catch up. Basically, UD Soldier is rushing into Disruptors. Disruptor production on the way here for the Green Protoss. But it's scouted. Hallucination. Oh, it's hallucination. Oracle dips in, gets a revelation, gets eyes on the bay. Shameless is aware of the tech. And how does he respond? A fourth. Oh my god. A fourth base on the way for Shameless. Getting into charge, +1. Building up a gateway-based composition. And my apologies, I assumed it was going to be for Disruptor. He's going for Colossus. Okay. okay, I see you. I mean, Colossus, they have their place in PvP, for those who don't know. Colossus, they can trade pretty well against gateway-based compositions, but they struggle against a player who themselves is going into Disruptors or Immortals. So there is potential with Colossus, but Shameless is already moving out. Shameless moving out across the map. Does have his own stasis set up as well. Has the prism to reinforce. UD Soldier does spot the warp in, is aware. Does respond. We have cannons, we have shield batteries, we have a lot of stack defense. Hallucinated Colossus. Colossus are revealed. And Shameless dives in. Goes to dive. Doesn't quite target down the Colossus. Nice force fields. But really, UD Soldier, he's zoned away. Zelsa charge into the natural. Yeah, Shameless ignoring the main army. Going for the mineral line. At least tries to. It's going to be a costly trade, though, for Shameless. We'll take down the Bay. Overcharge gets popped. The fake Colossus takes some shots. Not bad. And with this, it looks like UD Soldier, he should be able to clean this up, should be able to defend. Does lose 10 probes, but does survive. Oh, did I say 10 probes? Oh, 13. Oh, God. Oh, God. 13. 13 workers go down. UD Soldier on 3 Colossus. Let's go the triple Colossus setup. Oh! Does hold. Shameless backing off, getting to his own Immortals. Second Robo's on the way. Getting into something more robust. Shameless has the economic advantage, but pushing into 3 Colossus, that is not so easy. Shameless is looking to get into his own. I imagine Disruptors. As both players are investing into their robotic space. Shameless forced back. UD Soldier holding his own. Trying to hold his own. A shout out to Dave. Hope you had a good stream. Hope you had a good ladder session, I imagine. Bienvenidos. Welcome, everyone. Welcome. Welcome to the Tenacious Turtle Tussle. Welcome to our weekly tournament here in the Americas. I mean, open to all, of course. Shameless dipping in from behind. Threatens the main. Disruptors are on the way, making 2 at a time. We spoke about it earlier about how Colossus have their place in PvP, but they do get outscaled by Disruptors. Disruptors are coming. But a big shout to Dave. Bienvenidos, papi, bienvenidos. Hope you had a good time. Again, Dave hosting his own event tomorrow, the Ursasaurus Cup. Look forward to it. As more Disruptors are amassing. UD Soldier moving out, getting into mass Immortal production behind this. Base out the stasis. Army soon to engage, shorts those Novas. Spot force fields, Nova goes up, doesn't quite connect. Just zones away. At the same time, massive warping into the main base. Zealots have arrived. And UD Soldier, he's committing. Nova goes off once again. No big connection. UD Soldier being very careful with his movement. Baits out the stasis. The third Nova does connect though. And shaves off some HP on that Immortal. Colossus goes down. Nice target firing first. Colossus and Immortal fall. And another massive connection. And UD Soldier is all in. Back at home. The main base is on fire. More Novas going off. Oh, and there's no way to dodge them. The Colossus, they take them to the face. And UD Soldier is crashing into a brick wall. And Shameless, he's holding. He shuts down the army. Crushes the Colossus. GG gets called, and Shameless will take the 2-0. GG. GG, well played, congratulations. Shameless will be the first player to advance on to the semifinals. Congratulations. Again, there were some good moments of UD Soldier. He was able to rush into the Colossus and defend against the first move out, that is true, but was outscaled by the Disruptors and was forced all in as well. You know, that we had the Zealot Warp in, there was no response back at home, no defenses. UD Soldier did commit up a ramp into Disruptors, a very difficult thing to do in this matchup, and we saw how that went. We saw how that turned out. GG. GG, well played. With that, we have our first semi-finalist, and the question becomes, who will face off against him in those semi-finals? I think I said grand final. Semi-finalist, what I meant to say. As we can switch our scenes over and have a look at the bracket. Oh boy. The bracket has been progressing for the most part. The round 16 has concluded. We have more matches coming up. We have Beyond versus Medic Jr. Medic Jr. did take down Defiance 2-1. Did advance on into the next round. And I believe Little Mac is covering Beyond versus Medic Jr. when it goes up against Inexorable in the quarterfinals. Meanwhile, we have Mixu versus Nikic, currently locked in a ZVZ. They are mid-series. Definitely have my eyes on that. Scrolling down, we have Shin versus Xingming. And let me just quickly switch regions and see if I can catch them. Winner goes up against Shameless. Lower semifinals, most likely will be ready first. We'll be covering that. We'll be all over those lower matches. And Shin, oh. Is out of game. Do we have an update? Do we have some results coming in? Or can we jump into a series? Let us find out. Okay. We have a next series. We have our next series here. Also, I apologize if I'm pronouncing it incorrectly. I do apologize. It was Sugwa for watermelon. So is it Singming, not Xing? I would appreciate corrections in the chat. I would appreciate it. Uncertain. But it looks like they are currently conducting the vetoes. Vetoes are underway. So we will be able to jump in to that best of 3. Here we go. It's going to be a Zerg versus Protoss. Looks like our players, they need some time though to get their vetoes underway. So we're going to be headed over to a short break. When we come back, we will have our next quarterfinals match leading into Shameless in those semis. We're getting there. But now take this moment to drain your Disruptors, massage your Marines, Hydras, tuck in your Tempest, and we'll be back soon. Oh, never mind. We'll be back now with our next series. Our players needed some time, but it's all good. We have them. They're ready. We're jumping in. Alright, jumping in. It's everyone's event. True. The people's tournament. But yeah, of course, the Ursasaurus Cup is going to be tomorrow at around the same time. I'm sure everyone's going to be getting involved. Chicken Man, Dave Testa, Steadfast, ourselves, and potentially more. But now we're focusing on our own quarterfinals match, and spawning in the top left-hand corner of Site Delta, we have the South Korean Zerg player, the Blue Zerg representing Gaiman Gladiators. It is Shin. And spawning in the bottom right-hand corner, we have his opponent. We have the Chinese Protoss, the red Protoss. Representing himself, it is Xingming. Here we go. Here we go. Shin going for a 15-15, very safe opener from our Zerg player. This does allow Shin to get his expansion before the probe does arrive, before there is any pylon block. So a very nice maneuver here by Shin, making sure everything is as it should be. Likewise, you have the Protoss probe rocking up and won't be able to delay too much. Now, the downside of this build for Shin, the downside of this opener, I should emphasize, is that gases are going to be a little bit more delayed, which means later link speed, and it means later aggression. So just a safe opener overall. Meanwhile, back at home, gate expand into Cybercore, send that opener from the Protoss. Go. Probe is dipping in. We do have our hatch gas pool, standard opener. I mean, sorry, not hatch. 15-15 into gas. So Shin now going to be embracing his own gas income, and we're settling into our 2-base setup here. Shin, I'm sure, soon to take a third. And I'm curious what kind of tech our Protoss does embrace. Now, it's been a couple of months, if not a year, since I've casted Xingming. It's been a long time, been a very long time. And the last time we covered him in this matchup, I do recall him embracing Sky Toss. You know, Stargate into Fleet Beacon, into a Carrier Rush, into Sky Toss, into some long late game scenario. We did embrace that quite a lot. This time, though, a Robo Opener. Okay, now this can be leading to... Oh, this can lead into something like a Disruptor drop, for example. Can lead into an Immortal-based all-in. But the Lings, they do slip into the main. Shin getting a free scout and will confirm the Robo. So it is aware it's going to be a more aggressive start from the Protoss. Lings catching a probe. One probe kill so far. Adept into the main. Adept does shade in. Shin is able to keep up. Keep up, does zone away. And interesting, now I assume that this Robo Opener would be for a Bay into Disruptors or Colossus, but no, it's for a faster Prism. With no other tech. Interesting. Okay. Prism is on the horizon. Gateways are being turned down. And yeah, this is a bit of an oddity here, going for a delayed Twilight Council Forge. Going for much later what looks to be +1 in charge, I imagine, not blink. I mean, either one is going to be viable here. Immortal production has begun. This is just a wild build. It's very unorthodox, but it is still going to be quite aggressive on 2 bases, and Shin is playing safe with his Roach Warren. Roach Warren was thrown down at just before the 4-minute mark. Very safe timing for Shin. Prism into the main. Queens are keeping up, and Shin is deflecting. Have 2 queens in the main, 2 queens here at the 3rd base as well. Prism doesn't get much done, but remember, it's not about the initial aggression. It's about the follow-up. It's about what's coming next with Immortals in charge. It's going to be an Immortal charge all in. Did get there in a roundabout way, but is getting there. Once again, the Lings, they deny the Adepts. Queens deny the Prism. So far, Soul defense here by Shin, and he's still squeezing out a couple of drones. There's still a couple of workers on the way here and there. Roaches are amassing. Spore Crawlers on the way, just in case it were to be a Dark Shrine. DTs. And a Painting Nest gets thrown down as well. Shin looking to turn this defense into an offense. Banelings will be ready for the counterattack. So Prism does dive in. Oh, the Prism taking so many hits. Oh my god, getting so low. The Prism is going to be trapped. Can recall back home. The Immortals have a mass, and Shin is coming in for a follow-up scout. He confirms there is no third base. Gets eyes on the Twilight Council, the Robo, the Gateways, the Forge as well. He can piece it together. He can and he has. Upon seeing the Temple Archives, is fully aware of the Charged Immortal Archon all-in. On 2 bases, massive Gateway explosion. That's going to be all or nothing. Well, but still sees everything. Oh my god. The Overlord finally goes down. But that was a worthwhile scout. And Shin, he's cutting worker production at 47. He has 4 gas saturation. 5 gas. Oh my god. Very gas intensive here. And I mean, you need those gases for Ravagers, for Banelings. Shin is amassing an army. And how do the armies compare here? Now, what I will say is that it will come down to the control, of course. We have Sentries, the Prism did recall back home. We have Sentries, we have Force Field potential. If Xingming, if he can Force Field the Banelings away, if he can focus them down, if they don't connect, he can still take a fight. Outside of that, though, Shin should be getting ready for a surround. Is amassing up more of an army, still refusing to drone up, droning up to 50. Focusing on Ling Bane. Protoss has arrived. Does have 4 Immortals. But Bailing speed is already done. Oh my god. Bailing speed, no road speed. Doesn't need it. Still more Ling Roach on the way. It's going to be a tough hold. That's still a lot of charge thoughts. Bailings, they roll in. And the Force Fields are throwing down Bailings. They do manage to get past the main army. Yeah, and the Immortals are exposed. Zelts are going down, and Shin, he will just collapse in and crush this force. Takes down every single Immortal, every single unit. Nothing is left. GG gets called, and Shin takes game number 1. Whew. GG. A very meticulous response there out of Shin, just making sure he didn't over-drone, making sure he was respecting the all-in. Of course, he had eyes on any would-be third base, made sure that it was 2 bases, and was able to confirm in the main base the mass amount of gateways, the Forge, the Twilight Council, the Templar Archives. Shin saw everything, stayed on a low drone count, 50 drones, 5 gases, and even did prioritize bailing speed, didn't even bother with roach speed. So very nice defense. Again, it did come down to the force fields. Force fields, they did delay some of the push, but Banelings still got on top of the Zealots. They still made their way through. And Shin is now 1 game away from those semifinals. We go. We're getting in. Inexorable beat Rebellion? Yeah. He's our boy. And spawning in the bottom right hand corner of Golden Aura, we have the South Korean Zerg player. The blue Zerg representing Gaiman Gladiators, leading the series 1-0. It is Shin. And spawning in the top left hand corner, we have the red Protoss player from the land of China. Down in the series, we'll see if he can bounce back. It is Xingming. I do see some people asking about Inexorable. Fala galera, papi. Yes, Inexorable, he is a rising star. He's been improving a lot. Definitely has been improving a lot. When it comes to the Terran, so with the players in Brazil, I mean, there's some really top players like Inexorable, like Yan, of course. I would say they're the top 2 Terrans in Brazil. Likewise, you have Master, you have Shakti, Eric, of course. A lot of high caliber players, and we should be covering some of those Brazilian players in a couple of days. For those that are unaware, tomorrow we're casting the Ursasaurus Cup, of course, but the day after that we're going to be casting the Code for Giants Cup, so that is going to be a Brazilian only tournament. So if you want some Brazilian on Brazilian action, we got you covered with the Code for Giants Cup on Wednesday, or I guess on Tuesday in Brazil. We got you, papi, we got you. Until then, Hatch Gas Pool, a much more standard opener this time out of Shin. Something more standard. Back at home, Gate Expand into Cybercore. Nothing too crazy so far. Emphasis on so far. I mean, we saw just how chaotic and aggressive Xingming can be when we saw the 2-base all in. I'm sure now we're going to deviate away. The pylon is thrown down a little bit closer towards the right-hand side. We could be seeing a Stargate opener instead. But I really wasn't expecting a Robo Prism start in the last game, so it could be anything. And there it is, Stargate. So again, usually if it's a Robo or Twilight Council, the pylon is thrown down further back to hide the tech. This time, that is not the case. It is further out to go for the initial Oracle. Probes are being stoned away. And Shin does get into his standard setup. Third base, droning up, saturating on 3 bases. And we can see a more standard back and forth, assuming that Xingming does expand. Technically, this could be a Stargate into a Void Rage, or a second Stargate into a Fleet Beacon. But Oracle. Let's go. It's going to be the Oracle opener. We should be headed into the mid-game. Here we go. There's that third base on the way now for the Protoss. Again, just Stargate opener, Oracle into a third, triple Oracle into a third base. Everything looking as it should. And now we can embrace a longer game state here. Shin also droning up, safety spores on the way. Shin, he does confirm the expansion with the Overlord, is fully aware of the Stargate. Shin knows he is safe to embrace drones. We can drone up. Let's go. Oracles are moving out. 2 Oracles can one-shot workers, so this can still pose a threat. Oh, Shin going for an earlier Roach Warren, though. That was a 4-minute 10 Roach Warren. You often do not get it this early on without good reason. Now, this could just be a safety Roach Warren. Shin just might be concerned about his opponents because of how aggressive they've been. But my eyes are definitely on Shin here. We'll see if we make use of those Roaches. As a 1, Queen is going to go down. Another Queen up. Ooh, falling as well. Good pick up. 2 Queens do fall. But behind this, Shin is still droning up. Shin does threaten a dive. Pulling away. We can see here, despite the early Roach Warren, it was just for safety. There's no Roaches on the way. We're just droning up, taking more gases, layers in production as well. So Shin was just, again, playing it safe here against Xingming, which I don't blame him. Don't blame him. As Oracles will continue to threaten these bases. Clearing up creep. As the Oracles are out on the map, Lings are getting ready for a counterattack. But back at home, we have a Shield Battery, we have an Overcharge, we have plenty of Stalkers. And the Protoss does defend. And is gearing up towards +1 Blink and Archon production. Storm even. Okay, let's go. Taken towards the Templar Archives, Storm is on the way. And as the Protoss is embracing Storm, Shin is embracing Mutas. Spire has been thrown down, and so far, I believe, unscouted. Spire is unscattered. Mass Muta can snowball out of control, can get out of hand real easy, real quick. As we can say, catch another couple of Stalkers. Not like this. El huevito, papi. Let's go. So people were talking about egg. We love egg. We got all the love back. But yeah, Egg, I'm pretty sure he's retired at this point. We haven't seen him in a long time. I did notice that Eggs did sign up for this tournament for the Tenacious Turtle Tussle, but he didn't check in. Feels bad, man. Regardless, here we go. Shin is applying some pressure. Just some light pressure. Mutas are now on the way. 13 mutas. There is a revelation. The Protoss is still in the dark. Gold is on the way for Shin. He has map control, embracing the entire map, spreading out links, spreading more creep. And it does look like Xingming, he has not yet noticed the mutas. They're coming back. They're coming. And back in the main base, what do we have to defend? The main base is exposed. The natural base, likewise. There is some stack defense here at the 3rd and at the 4th. And there are a lot of Blink Stalkers with Storm. The main army can contest against the mutas, but the mutas, they never have to engage. They can just harass and go into the Mineral Lines. And here they come. Mutas are on the way. Oh boy. Meanwhile, Xingming, we spoke earlier how we have seen him embrace Skytoss before, and he's rushing into Stargates and a Fleet Beacon and trying to head into Skytoss. But we're not there yet. And here come the mutas. Does it into the main. Does catch a handful of workers, shuts down the Stalkers warping in. Yeah, he just goes for the main fight, takes down every single Stalker. Stalkers go down, Mineral Line as well, and Xingming, does he move out? Nah, he's stuck at home. Again, there are other subs. High Templar, no! We go for the dive. Shinny gets one High Templar. Mutas survive as well, going for the Archon, because why not? Oh, and Xingming, he responds with Phoenixes. Well, that's 20 probe kills, an insane amount of economic damage. Not like this. Economic damage is brutal. And Shinny rotates around, rotates back in. Phoenixes will eventually shut this down. We can see Shin embracing Corruptors instead. Hive is on the way. Gold base fully saturated, or getting fully saturated. And Shin is maxed. He's maxing out. Unfortunately, the Protoss is just stuck at home. And it's falling behind in the economy. On every other aspect, I should say. Carrier production has begun. You know, behind this, Corruptors already on the way. Lurkers as well. Shin embracing a longer game state. Shin is just trying to, as Xingming is trying to keep up and does have some storms available, definitely, that will deny any committed dive, but the Lings, they can even just force out storms. Speaking of, first storm gets spent. Corruptors into the main, came with the production, they spot the carriers. Carriers are spotted, Phoenix is being shut down. There aren't that many mutas left over. As Corruptors, they don't care. Oh my god. Shin, calm down. He doesn't care. He goes to the Nexus, goes to the expansion. And the Corruptors, not the best. I mean, we get 2-3 Corruptors, but they will snipe the Nexus. Nexus does fall. And do they even catch the carriers as well? Shin, he's crazy. He gets everything. Gets the Stalkers, the Workers, the Phoenixes, the base, and a carrier as well. The value from these Corruptors are insane. The efficiency, but takes down another Phoenix. And behind this, we have more Corruptors amassing. Carriers, they're not the answer. Not here. Not in this kind of game state. Trying to head in that direction, but Shin still has just a massive amount of Corruptors. How many? 16. 16 Corruptors. There's not much support in the air. Xingming is stuck at home. Does have all the cannons and shield batteries. He is turtling up. Oh no, he wants another base! He wants another expansion. Overcharges pop to try to keep it alive. But the Nexus is gonna fall. Oh my god, the DPS is just so high. The damage output ramps up real quick. Shin, he backs off, he rotates. Now, the carrier count is getting higher, true. Unfortunately, the economy is still lackluster for Xingming. We do have 6 more corruptors on the way, getting into every other tech structure, of course. Upgrades for the lurkers, upgrades for ultras. Ultras would be ideal in this kind of scenario, to deal with the ground-based army, to deal with the High Templar. Shin is stuck with a couple of roaches, though. Does want to refine his army, I'm sure. Looking for more damage. Dipping in, once again, going for the carriers, going for the stargates. Xingming will hold. Does have a cannon and his army in position. This time he's ready for it. Yes, they're waddling in. Bailing's speed is not done, by the way. But Bailing's, ooh, they do get caught by the stasis. Shin trying to be cheeky is denied. See some people asking about communities, and yeah, there are a lot of Latin American communities on Facebook. I think there is an Argentinian Latin American community as well, as there are other Argentinian players. I believe that is the case. Maximo's another one. I think Maximo recently name changed though. I can't remember what he goes by, but he did drop by recently. Also from Argentina. Shout out to Maximo. But here we go. Xingming tries to dive out. We do collapse in. And Bailing's A crashes the main army. High Templar go down. There's one High Templar left. And we do land another big storm. The corruptors are going down. Xingming, he will clean up the main army. But there are 0 storms remaining. And behind this, Shin is remaxing. Corruptors are on the way. Ultras are on the way. Shin, he's got to keep going. Keep going, Papi. We can't turn around. I mean, I say that Shin is remaxing, but if we allow Shin to remax, he can just build up once again. Yeah, that's 8 more ultras on the way. Xingming pulls back, attempting to expand. Takes down an ultra, not bad. But I do think that the Protoss player playing a little bit too scared here. Could have definitely tried to break out and bring down another expansion before recalling. But now it's too late. Now Shin has remaxed with Corruptor Ultra. Link Stalkers though, they're getting some value here. Ultra's trying to keep up. Expansion does fall. Not bad. Getting a base, getting 2 ultras, recalling back home. Not bad. Unfortunately, the 5th base is denied. Xingming still stuck on 4 bases. Has rebuilt those High Templar, has more storms. Bailing's once again rolling in. Ooh, storms on the Ling Bane. I mean, the carrier count has hit critical mass. We've got how many? Initially we had 3, but now we have 7. Soon to be 10. 10 carriers on the way. At this point, because of the higher carrier count, I would say that spell cache is going to be necessary for Shin. I'm referring to mainly Viper, but potentially Infestor as well. But Viper is to abduct, basically. To abduct, to yoink, or even Parasitic Bomb. Without spellcasters, trying to brute force this kind of army can be difficult. Despite Shin's economy, a fight can still go the way of the Protoss and can snowball out of control. Oh, E Legacy, yeah, we know. A legacy has arrived. Oh, big storms on the Banelings. They crash into mainly 2 Archons. Ultra's trying to dive in once again, going for the High Templar. Storm's also in the way. High Templar going down. We clean up every single High Templar. And now Shin, he's going for the carriers. It gets 1, gets 2. Gonna get a 3rd carrier, but he's running out of Corruptors. And again, without spellcasters, without a Parasitic Bomb, that would have been a much easier fight. 22 Corruptors on the way. The Ultras did clean up the ground army, but now the pure carrier is breaking through. Shin has to buy time. He has to buy time for those Corruptors. I still want to say that Shin can shut down this army. Ultras get across the map. Going for the 4th. Yeah, Xingming is all in. He recalls back home. He recalls. The Ultras, they did their job. They force a recall. Shin holds. Ay, ay, ay. Again, I feel like we have to keep going, Papi. Do feel like we have to keep going, as once again we have another 25 Corruptors. They've got some okay upgrades. We're about to have +3. Storm is not ready. Oh. There's some High Temple, but no Storm! Yeah, no Storm available. Carriers are going down. Ooh, 4 carriers fall. You can see Xingming trying to get into Mass Void Ray instead. And finally, Vipers. This is what we've been waiting for. Vipers are on the way. Shin now getting a much more complex army, and we'll have a much easier time engaging with the Sky Toss, especially with the Void Rays. The reason why, Void Rays are very prone to stacking. They're very prone, very vulnerable to Parasitic Bombs. Cell slapping across the map. Spine Crawlers do buy time. Shin will defend. And Shin has remax. We're just waiting for those Vipers to gather up energy. There's 2 Vipers. They're getting ready. They're massing up. And yeah, they are topped up, ready for those Parasitic Bombs. Now, there are still High Templar. There is a world. If Xingming can feedback, if he can feedback those Vipers and deny the Parasitic Bombs, then he can take a fight. But that's what the Ultras are for. So you get a Power Bomb already on the Void Rays. Oof. Yeah, you can see they do stack. One of them gets pulled away. But there is a 2nd Power Bomb available. Shin is just going to be regathering energy. Oh, there might have actually been a double Power Bomb there. Gathering up more energy. Pulling away. Xingming finally expanding and taking another fresh mining base. Can still go his way. Getting to Infestors now. Let's go. 5 Infestors. 2 Vipers. Shin is massing up. Oh, gets 1. Nice feedbacks though out of Xingming. Nice feedbacks, does deny the Vipers. I mean, with this fresh mining base, Xingming, he can sustain himself. He can max out. He is maxing out. So the Protoss is still in this. Broodlord's now on the way. Infestors have arrived. Shin is down to basically 1 mining base, as there's nothing here at the 3rd. The 4th base likewise running out of resources as well. Down to 1 base. And oh boy, that's a lot of Broodlords. Is that too many Broodlords? Shin is down to 11 Corruptors. I am a little bit concerned. I'm a little bit concerned that he might have invested into too many Broodlords against his Sky Turtle Space Army, but we'll see. We'll see. See how Shin does approach this. The Spore Forest has been thrown down. Creep is spreading. Here we go. The march is upon us. The spores, they're waddling in, Pat. They're waddling in. So Shin setting up a forward outpost, taking another expansion. All the bases are soon to be taken. There's still one expansion left towards the left. One expansion left untouched. But it's going to be 13 Corruptors, 13 Broodlords, 7 Infestors. Neural has been researched, but we're looking for the Fungals. Oh! Letting one. A couple of Chain Fungals going off, catching out some of the army. And we'll shut down at least some of those High Templar as well. Oh my god. There's 2 High Templar left. The Power Bomb, the combo. Oh my god. Yeah, the Vortex take a lot of hits, another Power Bomb as well. Oh, they come back in, no! Split! Split, Bobby. The Vortex is so low. Yeah, just so much splash damage here with the Fungals and the Parasitic Bombs. The Protoss army getting bullied. And here we go, another Power Bomb. No Fungals left, though. Protoss army is gaining ground. Ultras diving in, dealing with the ground army. No more Storm. Yeah, it's just gonna be Skytoss left. And are there enough Corruptors? It looks like there barely are. Yeah, they take down the carriers one after the other. GG gets called, and Shin will take the series 2-0, advancing on to the semi-finals. GG. Oh my god. GG, well played. Congratulations. Shin will take the series. We'll take the series 2-0. And will advance on. Meanwhile, my condolences to Xingming. Again, he was able to hold his own. He was able to max out, but he was torn apart by the main army, by the maxed out spellcaster army of Infestors, of Fungals, of Parasitic Bombs, the Ultras as well. Did become too much. GG, well played. Congratulations. Congratulations. And with that, we have both semifinals ready. Oh boy. I just need to find them. Let's go. Alright, jumping in. And we have the upper semifinals. I have very little time to set up. Un momento. A shout out to Little Mac, by the way. Big shout out to Little Mac. Thank you so much for covering the upper matches. Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for covering those matches. Hope you had a great time. Hope you had a great time covering Beyond and all those upper matches. Thank you. Thank you. Oh, as we already have our lobby, we're jumping into the upper semifinals. Let's go. Just catching up in the chat. But thank you for the raid. Thank you. Carrier operations. Oh no. But here we go. We're getting into our first semifinals of the night, and spawning in the bottom right hand corner of Oceanborn, we have the Finnish Zerg player, the blue Zerg, representing Berserker Esports. It is Mixu. And spawning in the top left hand corner of Oceanborn, we have the South Korean Terran player, the Red Terran, representing Shopify Rebellion. It is Beyond. Go. We have our first semifinals. Also, did we not have predictions going? My apologies. Predictions should be open in the chat. You can place your bets on who you think will claim the series. Will be going the way of Björn or Mixu. Best of luck in the chat. Up to you to decide. I mean, Björn is the heavy favorite, that is true, but I want to believe in the Finnish Phenom. In Cyril's firstborn, I want to believe. Let's go. For now, it's settling in. Hatch gas full. Meanwhile, Bjorn going for a 2-Rex opener, 2-Rex Reaper. Is going for an aggressive start, and we'll see what Bjorn can get done. Here we go. As the Reapers are on the way, the goal here of this opener, of course, is for Bjorn to deny the third base, contain Mixu on 2 bases, and delay the economy. We'll see if he can pull that off. Likewise, Mixu back at home, still setting up and settling in. But often I get to cast Bianca. Hope you enjoyed, Pappy. Hope you enjoyed. As the Reapers are moving out. Again, 2-Max Reaper. We should be at most getting 4 Reapers. We'll see if we embrace more. As the first Reaper has arrived, Mixu does keep his drone hidden, does keep it safe. Overlord does confirm the 2-Max Reaper, of course. Mixu is aware. And so far the dance has begun. 1 Ling has fallen. Mixu still going for the 3rd. Bold move. Does go for the 3rd expansion. Bjorn backing off. Will scout, will confirm. But that's already stopped Reaper production. Only 3. Only 3 Reapers. Which means Mixu can defend. Mixu can hold. Queen is waddling in. 2nd Queen has arrived. Bjorn getting zoned away. The 1st Queen taking a lot of hits though. He wants it. He wants the Queen, and he's going to get it as well. Massive pick off. 1 Queen falls. Not like this. Bjorn gaining more ground. Forcing back the Queen. Again, these Reapers are so low. But does still barely keep them alive. Alas, the expansion should finish. Bjorn wants another Queen. No shot! He wants it! He wants another Queen! Get out of here. Bjorn. Too greedy. So greedy. Almost does get it. Alas, Mixu will thankfully establish a 3rd base. Did cost him a Queen to do so, but economically should be able to keep up. Should be able to keep up here with Bjorn. Behind this, Bjorn, of course, getting into a 2-1-1. 3rd CC behind this is going to be 3 CC. 2-1-1 means a more delayed move out from Bjorn, waiting for, of course, medevac production. Is getting there. Meanwhile, Mixu going for a very early Bailey nest. Interesting. I mean, Mixu, he spots the 3rd CC. He's aware that it's going to be a bit of a later move out. He's going for a Bane bust. Mixu, he's going for a bust across the map. His goal here is to break through the natural, deny Stim. Bearing in mind, Stim is exposed. And Mixu's going to try and punish. It's on Bjorn to scout. Bjorn is active with the Reapers. Reapers still alive. Hellions as well. Bjorn has the pieces together. Rotating around. He needs to get eyes on the lack of saturation at the 3rd. Or even all the Lings. Queen zone away. Lings so far, they kept hidden. They're going for the surround. They're at least trying to. They do set up for the surround. Coming in from behind. But Bjorn does slip away. Oh my god. Lings are going to be collapsing. They do catch 2 of the Hellions. They catch 2, but the other 2 do make it out. A big volley's going off of the Lings. Mixu bleeding out a lot of units. Will eventually shut this down. I say that. Bjorn, he's getting away. The Hellions, they're lubed up. We just can't get a handle on them. Finally, they're going to be shut down. But the value is insane, and Bjorn back at home, he's walling up. Bunkers are being thrown down. He realizes just how many Lings there are. That is insane. That is crazy. So many Lings. So Bjorn is walling off. Stim is almost done. Stim is seconds away from finishing. Hellions are amassing as well. Banelings have arrived, and they're going for the depot. It's all or nothing for Mixu. The Hellion volleys they're a little bit too good though. And Bjorn is holding. The depot falls, but not much else. Stim is going to be denied. But that is not enough damage. Mixu needs more. Mixu backs off, building up more Ling Bane. Is now droning up, but these are late workers for Mixu. Still has a lot invested into this army. But Bjorn holds. Bjorn holds, Bjorn taking a 3rd base. At this point, it should be on Mixu to delay the 3rd for as long as possible. Delay the 3rd base. Coming in for another attempted surround. The Hellions, they get away. They keep getting away, Papi. The Banelings, they do nothing. Yun is holding once again. Mixu pulling away. Taking extra gases. Getting to a fourth. I mean, Mixu has been joining quite heavily behind all of this and is trying to stabilize and catch back up. Lair is now on the way, but this is a very late lair for Mixu. It is, what, a almost 7-minute lair. Ay, ay, ay. Likewise, no upgrades. Again, this shows just how all-in Mixu was. There were no Evo chambers, there was no lair, there was no fourth, there was no drones. So Mixu has still not caught up. It's still stabilizing. And Beyond, he's already working on 2-2. As the Evo chambers are still on the way, Beyond, he has 2-2 upgrades on the horizon. Crazy. That's why it's called an all-in. Like, even though the game is still going on, it's still... we're still behind, I should mention. Mixu was still trying to catch up. Beyond moving out. Stim is now done in 10 seconds. And Beyond is looking to trade. There we go. Stimming up the ramp, clearing up a lot of creep. And Baneling's speed only just started. Yeah, Beyond against Slow Bane should not take him to the face. Lings, they come in first round, they force a pickup. One Marine falls. But Beyond still has so much potential with this army. The Banelings, oh my god! Not bad. One Baneling does connect. Good chunk of Marines go down. Beyond getting caught off guard, but he's reinforcing with tanks, with Hellbats, with more of an army. 2-2, halfway done. Mixu trying to hold on, but this position is brutal. Banelings forced to crash into tank. Not ideal. The tank, it tanks so many Banelings. Ay, ay, ay. A tank in more ways than one. And Beyond is breaking through. Baneling speed has completed. Beyond kiting back. Lings being shut down. More Banelings are on the way. That's 7 Banelings. And is it enough? Oh my god. And it barely does force back the Terran. But Beyond, he's not stopping. He's not slowing down. He just keeps going. Just keeps rattling across the map. Behind this is a 4th CC. Beyond is not all in. It's just how much of a lead he had earlier. And 2-2 now kicks in for Beyond. Yeah, Mixu knows he cannot save the base. He does evacuate. Mixu gives up on the expansion. The Queens fall down. Lings, they attempt to counterattack, but Beyond, he's ready back at home as well. He's more than ready. Mixu setting up a surround. Oh, he's trying to come in from behind as well. We'll save the expansion. Takes down the tank. Mixu, he saves his hatchery. Not bad. We'll lose another, but does at least save his 4th. As Mixu has saved the drones. The workers were saved. Tanks were dealt with. Burrow is done. I believe? Yeah. Oh, no, the scan! Scan reveals the borrowed Banelings. Again, Burrow would be a good way to bounce back in this game, but it's yet to come into play. And Mixu's trying to engage. Wintermine bars in time. The spread is just a little bit too good. The concave is insane, and Beyond, he's snowballing out of control. He breaks down the hatchery and can keep going from here. Force to pick up. Banelings finish up just in time. Beyond dropping into the natural. But Mixu is running out of steam. He's running out of army. Those are the final Banelings. GG gets called, and Beyond will take game number 1. Whew. GG. Oh my god. GG, well played. Bjorn does take the first game. I do appreciate the all-in that Mixu was getting ready, again, in the earlier stages of the game, but unfortunately Bjorn was able to scout. He was able to determine what was going on with his Hellion Reaper, was able to buy so much time, trade so efficiently against the Lings. By the time the all-in arrived, Bjorn was ready for it. Bjorn was more than ready, had bunkers up and running, had shaved off so much of the Ling Bane, or so many of the Lings already. So Bjorn did hold beautifully, and did snowball from there. Mixu was just trying to stabilize after the failed all-in and wasn't quite able to get there in the end. Wasn't quite able to make up for it. And now we're getting into game number 2. Let's go. Getting into game 2. It's going to be on Alkione. Alright, getting into our next game. And we'll see if we can bounce back and force the ace matches spawning in the bottom left-hand corner. We have the Finnish Zerg player, the Blue Zerg, representing Berserker Esports, down in the series, but I want to believe he can bounce back. It is Mixu. And spawning in the top right-hand corner, we have as opponent, we have the South Korean Terran player, the Red Terran, representing Shopify Rebellion. It is Bjorn. Here we go. Whew. Again, we had a very intense game number 1, especially with the initial 2-Rax Reaper, with the Bane Bust follow-up, of course. And we'll see how we can recover. See how both of our players do approach this. As for the time being, Bjorn going for the Rax Expand, standard opener this time at a Bjorn, likewise Hatch Gas Pool at a Mixu. We're calming things down, which makes sense. We're loading into a much larger map, we're loading into Alkione, of course, much larger map, a little more bases to expand to, a little more defendable, fortifiable 3rd and 4th base as well. We can head towards a longer game state. I say that this is a good map for 8 Raxes. If Bjorn did want to go for a 3-base all-in, this is primed for that kind of setup. See if that's what he goes for. We shall see. For the time being, just standard openers. Just going to be droning, fending out the overlords, making sure there is no proxy, making sure there is no shenanigans on the horizon here. I wouldn't put it past Bjorn to proxy in this matchup. So Mixu's just making sure he's safe and sound. Checking for the initial proxy and moving out. Shout out to Bomioja in the chat. Bobby, what are you playing? I did not see you in the bracket, Bomioja. Este Bomioja. Ay, ay, ay. Next time, next time. You have to cast, you, Bob. You have to cast. So now we are settling in. Link speed on the way. Mixu not pulling out. Uh-oh. Bear that in mind. No pull out at a Mixu. Now, you do not mind this much gas without good reason. It could be a Bane Bust, could be a Roach Rush, could be a Link Queen Nidus all-in with a fast lair. My eyes are on Mixu. He's going for an all-in. Which kind, though? That's the question. Is it going to be the lair, the Bailey Nest, or the Roach Warren? Or a mixture of either one. A combination, if you will. So our eyes are on Mixu. Back at home, it's going to be 3cc for Bjorn. 3cc into Starport. Most likely Banshee. Mixu has yet to confirm, and there it is! We have the answer. I was curious what the gas is going to be spent on. Roaches. Roach Warren has been thrown down. The Reaper does... No! Bjorn! He gets in! Oh, my kid doesn't. The scout is denied. Bjorn does not get behind the mineral line, and Mixu is going for a Roach Rush. Oh boy. Now we'll see how committed Mixu is going to be. This could just be initially, you know, 5 Roaches and then droning up behind it, or it can just double down and commit. I mean, Link speed is done, so we can Link Flood behind it. Overlord's finishing up, and here come the roaches. Oh, they're coming back. That's a lot of overlords. And Mixu is going for the all-in. Yeah, it's going to be all or nothing. 7 roaches on the way, soon to be ravagers as well. Lings, they deny the Reaper. Aliens are moving out for some map control, for scouting. Again, the pressure is on Beyond to figure out what's going on. Has yet to scout, has yet to confirm. Behind this, Banshee production is on the way. Mixu is actually squeezing out a couple of workers. Roaches, they actually going to be skirting around the edge of the map. It will take longer to move out, but they will be more of a surprise for Beyond. And Mixu's joining. Okay. So it's not an all-in. It is Roach aggression. That is true. It is committed. But Mixu is droning. As Roaches, they skirt around the edge of the map. Hellions are out of position. And how much damage can Mixu get done as Roaches are revealed? Waddling into the natural. Boys are being pulled. They are reinforcing Hellions back at home. The Hellions, they race back. Roach is getting surrounded. One Roach does fall. Ooh, second Roach as well. Banshee has arrived, and this Roach attack, it's not getting much done. Well, I say that does get 5 SCVs. Okay. Gets 5 workers. Boys being pulled. Lings have arrived, getting 9 SCV kills. But the problem is that was a costly trade. That was 9 SCVs for how much? For 6 Roaches and 12 Lings. It wasn't for free. Mixu, though, on a healthy worker count, getting up to 3 base saturation, getting into double Evo chambers for upgrades, of course. And Beyond doesn't counterattack, he's staying back home. I was concerned about a counterattack. The Banshee does move out, does confirm the saturation, the Queens as well, and here come the Hellions. Hellions are on the way. The pressure is now on Beyond to get some worker damage. Viking catches an Overlord. Hellions go for the dive. Roaches are in position. So far nicely done by Mixu. He keeps up. He holds on. Hellions are denied. So far so good. Investing into Roach speed. Investing into +1 carapace. And it is going to be interesting. +1 melee, not +1 range. This tells us that the Roach Ravager is merely a stepping stone, and yep, we're headed towards Lingbane. So it's going to be Roach Ravager initially to defend after the initial aggression, and Mixu is done with Roaches and is now embracing Lingbane instead. Banshees have arrived, they take down a Queen. Spore was too little too late. Queen does fall, Overlord gets caught. Mixu actually rushing into an infestation pit. Okay. With that, he has access to faster hive. Rush into a hive or even incorporate some infestors for fungal growth. Be a safer approach as the Banshees, they bypass the spore. 3 drones go down. Mixu trying to keep up. Getting up to 3 base economy. 4th base on the way. Double expanding, going for the gold as well. Okay. Mixu double expanding, droning up. There's that hive, so it's for the hive, not for infestors. Should be for past adrenal and Viper Tech. So we can take a moment and we can take a breath. We can calm things down. Beyond is getting a 4th. Mixu double expanding. We are working towards a longer game state, which is what we expected here between our players. Or now Kiane, I should say. On this map. Viking gets turned away. Beyond applying some pressure, but again, he's not committing. Just poking in whatever he can. Still building up back at home. Banshees come back in, going for another Queen. They go for the drones. There's 4 more workers going down. The Banshees, they're still alive. They're still up and running. Headed into the main base. Nice scout as well. They get eyes on the infestation pits and on the hive. Beyond is aware of the tech. And we should be working towards Ghost as a result. For now, still Marine Marauder. Beyond moving up with his tanks ahead of time. Mixu is going to be incorporating some spell casters. We have 2 Infestors and a Viper on the way. But they will need time to gather up energy. We'll need time, and Bjorn, he's in position to deny the gold. Oh, the Banelings. Okay, Mixu pulls away. Bjorn pushing forward. Denies mining at the gold. Splits up the Marines. Banelings, they try to crash in. They crash into the Hellbats. Not many Marines, though. Ooh, nice piles. Mixu is holding. Oh, no, the Fuggles. Let's go. The Chain Fuggles, even. Mixu, he shuts down the Bio Army. And he's going for the tanks as well. Forces a pickup. Mixu does hold and saves the gold. There's still more reinforcements on the way. Mixu, he can take the fight, though. He can, and he will. Forces a pickup on the tanks. Chases back the Marines. The gold base getting saturated. So far, so good. Oh, my God. Tank loads are insane, though. Yeah, tanks on the high ground. They punish the Ravagers. Mixu in an awkward position. Does have to pull away, bleeding out more Lings. Racing back home, and Bjorn. Now, the scary thing about what just happened is that Bjorn retained all of his tanks. He only lost one. One tank fell, the others did survive. So there's still quite a strong backbone to the army of Bjorn. He's moving forward. He has arrived once again. Oh, the mine shot! But the mines don't go up. More Ling Bane is required. There's still just the one Viper. It is quite low. And the Infestors, they're getting ready for another Fungal. They still need a little bit more time. As they catch a Widow Mine. Marines dropping in. Mixu commits! Oh, the mine shot, so... Yeah, the Widow Mines are brutal. They shut down the Ling Bane. That was not the fight to take. And Bjorn is still gaining more ground. There is a good Fungal, though. Oh, not bad. The Fungal was solid, but is there much else behind this? As yeah, the base is full, and the Marines, they shut down the Queens, the Infestors, the Ravagers as well. And Bjorn, he's breaking through. It's just too much Terran. It was an impressive hold initially out of Mixu, but it just barely was not enough. Bjorn is snowballing out of control. Mixu did well, but it's still Bjorn. that's the problem here. Mixu, he was holding the line. But last lost the base, lost the gold, lost 12 workers. Lings cannot engage. Does at least deny the 5th, but bear that in mind. Bjorn is already on a 4-base economy. Rotating. Mixu does find the tanks. But we'll lose another expansion. Another hatchery falls. Oh, we do come in from behind, though. Mixu, the best fight possible. Connects with the Marines, but still not enough. GG gets called. Too much left over, and Bjorn will take the series 2-0, advancing on to the grand finals. GG. GG, well played. A very impressive performance here by Bjorn to take the series. Oh, I can't forget the fanfare. Will take the series, will advance on, and we have yet to determine who will face off against Bjorn in the semis. Who's it going to be? So we are setting up for those lower semifinals. It's going to be a best of 3 between Shin and Shameless. In a PvZ, let's go. And again, I do appreciate that. I mean, game 1 was a little bit more one-sided. Like, Bjorn was able to scout and shut down the initial Bane bust. Game 2 was more back and forth. Mixu definitely had his moments, was able to deal some economic damage with his initial Roach aggression, was able to shut down the first move out as well, but wasn't able to shut it down well enough. And yeah, Bjorn did eventually break the 4th. Or break the gold. And with that, we are getting ready for that next series. Oh boy. Vetoes are done, and we're jumping into Shin versus Shameless. Let's go. Jumping into another ZVP. Again, we saw Shin have his way with Xingming earlier, but let's see if we can do it again. As you can hear the beeps, we're going to be loading into game 1. It's going to be on Crimson Court. Let's go. Also just catching up on the chat. Here we go, and spawning in the top right-hand corner of Crimson Court, we have the blue Protoss player representing Team Twisted Minds. It is Shameless. Has been patiently waiting for his series, and spawning in the bottom left-hand corner, we have the South Korean Zerg player, the red Zerg representing Gaimin Gladiators. It is Shin. Here we go. We have our ZVP. We were able to embrace Shin in the late game earlier, and a bit of a shorter game as well, as he did defend against an all-in in game 1 of the quarterfinals. Game 2 went to the late game. But we'll see how it compares to Shameless. Shameless, of course, a rising star in the European region, has been getting better and better results, but is still going to be the underdog in this series. Can he deny the Beyond versus Shin finals? Can he stop them? If you're in the chat, predictions are open. Place your bets on how you think the series will unfold, on who you think will advance on. Again, Shin is the favorite player, that is true, but I don't want to say that Shameless has no chance. Not at all. Shameless can pose a threat. I want to believe he can. For now, hatch gas pool, standard opener. Standard setup by Shin. Shameless behind this, gate expand. Everything looking as it should. We're all good. We're all good. Cybercore on their way, and we'll see if Shameless does open up with a spicier build based on the pylon placement. That could be a tell, could be a sign as to the tech that Shameless wants to embrace. Likewise, we'll keep an eye on the gas income for Shin. Similarly, link speed should be on the horizon, but we should be pulling out of gas thereafter. That should be. Shameless just scouting, just confirming that there is an expansion, that there are drones. Lings will zone away the probe, and we have our answer. We have a Stargate. The pylon was thrown down next to the gas geyser, and the Stargate is on the horizon. Shin going for the center base. It's been a while. Let's go. We did mention this earlier in the broadcast, but especially a couple of months ago in the earlier days of the season of the map pool, rushing into this center base was very commonplace in this matchup to get into a Roach Queen all-in. To embrace and to, of course, to incorporate that rich-resting gas geyser, to prioritize it, and to lead into a Roach base all-in, whether it's a German taxi or just a walk across the map, was very commonplace. It's going to be on Shameless to deny that. To deny mining and try to punish the greed here of Shin. Or I should say, to punish how exposed his base is. Pressure is on. As the first Oracle has arrived, Shin, of course, aware of the expansion, has to make it as difficult as possible for Shin to actually embrace this base. Get his economy going. Likewise, Shin moving out across the map will catch the probe. And will delay the expansion. The probe is, barely going down. Nice catch for Shin. The probe does fall. Oracle gets across the map. And in the main base, the two queens are ready. We have a queen, we have our two queens, we have the spore. Shin is prepared. Only two drones going down. Oracle takes a lot of hits. Third base is now getting up and running. It was delayed, but thankfully not for too much longer. The base is on the way. It's going to be a third into a Twilight Council and Forge. Looks like a standard follow-up here out of Shameless. Shameless does usually thrive in the mid-game. That's kind of his stomping ground, I should say. What he's known for. He is getting there. Ooh, as the Oracle takes a lot of hits. Shameless taking a lot of damage. Has to pull away. The gas guys are being prioritized. Roach Warren has been thrown down. And the queens are already walking across the map. We spoke about how this space usually leads into a into a Roach Queen all-in, but this is going to be a Queen Ling-based all-in instead. Very interesting. The queens are walling across. Shameless does scout, does confirm shield batteries are on the way, but is this too late? Ooh, Oracle goes down. Links. The wall's on the wall! No! The wall is wide open! Hero! I'm saying they dive into the main. Not like this. Shameless being pulled apart, forced to pull the boys. Probes are going down. And here come the queens. Here come the reinforcements. They hit the third. Third base under fire. Shin is joining up behind this. Roach Warren is done. Shield batteries are going down. The queens cannot transfuse. Bear that in mind. Queens are falling one after the other. Overcharge is popped. The queens. We save the base. Shameless. He holds. Shuts down the queens. The overcharge may have gone down. The shield battery may have fallen, but it did its job. It did sustain the army. Shameless does hold, and that was not worth it for Shin. Looking at the units lost tab, even though the Lings got into the main, that was only 4 probe kills. Only 4 probes went down. That was for 47 Lings. And now Shin is in trouble. Shameless, he can pop off. Shedding across the map. More oracles have arrived. The economies are comparable. Shin does have the Rich-Resting Gas Geyser. Roaches are amassing. And Shameless, he's not in a bad position. Not at all. Like, he's looking pretty good. Oh my god. If Shin had killed the expansion, different story, but alas, did overextend, and Shameless is in this. Oracle's moving out towards the main, towards the natural. Queens are in position. And Shameless has been very quickly, Shin has been very quickly rebuilding those queens. Does defend. And here comes the second wave. Initially it was Ling Queen, now it's Roach Ravager Queen. Oh boy. Here comes the next all-in. Round 2. Shameless will have Blink. +1 is done. Blink is almost complete as well. Has only 1 shield battery though. There we go. Second shield battery's on the way, but is it too late? Shin pushing forward, going for the mineral line. And shield battery goes down. The other will be wild as well. And no shield batteries, no overcharge, not this time. And the stalkers are exposed. Yeah, Shin with the second all-in is looking to overwhelm the third base. He shuts down the stalkers. Blink not good enough. And it looks like here, Shin has finally done it. He has broken the natural. Aye, aye, aye. Yeah, workers are going down. Not enough stalkers. GG gets called. Shameless, he was not ready. He was not expecting a second all-in. And Shin will take game number 1. Whew. GG. The persistent, Pop. The persistence. The perseverance. Let's go. Let us go. Oh, there's a clown in the chat. Ah. Shaking my head. Here we go. We're getting into game 2. That was still a very close back and forth. Again, unfortunately, Shameless wasn't quite ready for a follow-up attack that intense from Shin. I'm sure he was just expecting to calm things down. He was working on +2, working on further tech. Shameless was getting ready for a longer game, but it's Shin we're talking about. He's got places to be. Doesn't have time for macro. No. Not on Crimson Court. Here we go. We're getting into that second game. Oh, I just realized the person that got timed out, it's a fresh account. I see. It's all good. It's all good. We're jumping into our second game here, and I'm hoping for a back and forth. I imagine we should be seeing a very different kind of game state, though, here as we load into Oceanborn. And spawning in the top left-hand corner of Oceanborn, we have our blue Protoss player. Down in the series, we'll see if we can bounce back. We'll see if we can force the ace match. For Twisted Minds, it is Shameless. And spawning in the bottom right-hand corner, we have the South Korean Zerg player, the Red Zerg, representing Gaiman Gladiators. It is Shin. Leading the series 1-0, going for the 15-15, going for the expansion before the probe does arrive. Let's go. Very safe opener here by Shin. With this, won't be forced to take the unnatural natural, ideally. And hatchery is on the way. And I know that I mentioned before that, we're loading into Oceanborn, maybe we'll see a longer game state. This map as well is known for its all-ins. The reason for this is because the third base is a lot less defendable. Unlike on Crimson Court, where there is a ramp leading into the third, there is no ramp here. You know, it's on the same point of elevation as the attack point, so it is a little bit less defendable, easier to engage into. And we have seen a lot of aggression from the side of Protoss and Protoss alike, sorry, from Zerg and Protoss alike. So we'll see if Shin does throw down an early Roach Horn once again. We shall see. As again, Shin is going for some later gas income because of the opener. Settling in. The probe does confirm, of course. Shameless is aware, just being as annoying as possible. Attempting to force some inefficient mining out of Shin. So far, Shin is keeping up. And we're getting ready for our openers. We do have another pylon next to the gas geyser. Looks to be another Stargate opener out of Shameless. We'll see if he takes into any other crazy direction. But everything is looking as it should. First step popping out, Cybercore is done, and we have our take of choice. It is in fact the Stargate. Okay. Stargate opener out of Shameless. Shameless pulling away, Shin pulling out of gas, bear that in mind, just making sure. Does pull out, link speed is on the way. And so far everything's looking normal. We're calming down, family, we're calming down. Shin is still just going to be droning up. Saturating his bases, adepts have arrived. Their goal here is to get a read on any earlier gas mining here from Shin. Any lack of saturation, earlier tech. And now it's just on Shameless to keep an eye on Shin. And after game one, I don't blame him. You know, the pressure is on. Has to make sure this time there's no kind of crazy link flood. And crazy all in. As adepts take him into the shade, they get one drone, but they're going to get shut down. Yeah, brutal shade here for Shameless. Not worth it. 2 adepts for 1 drone. Shin will clean it up. Oracles are moving out. And now there is that much less to protect this probe and to expand. Nexus has been thrown down. Lings have arrived, but thankfully the Oracle does stick around and will defend. If the 2 adepts were alive, they would have shaded back home in time to protect this expansion, and the Oracle could move out, but it's stuck at home, at least for the time being. The second Oracle has arrived. Now Shameless can move out. Back at home, Shin has just been happily droning up, now saturating the gas geyser and settling in. This time there is no early Roach Warren. We're already at the 4-minute 30 mark, going for an Evo chamber first as well. Does tell us that Shin is macroing. Evo chamber should be for +1 melee. Shin is headed towards a longer game. Oh my god. The oracles take a lot of hits. Third oracle's on the horizon. Twilight comes follow up. Forward should be +1 and blink. Standard setup here out of Shameless. And it is going to be moving out with those adepts. 5 adepts on the ground, 3 oracles in the sky. As they all come together, Shameless can get some economic damage done. Let's see if he can pull it off. See if he can pull Shin apart. Adepts have arrived. Shading into the natural. They threaten to shade, they don't commit. They spot all the lings, they want none of it. Shin going for the surround though. It does collapse in at the same time. Oracles, they get 2 drones at the third. But every adept falls. Once again, not a worthwhile trade here for Shameless. Has lost map control, back at home, no shield battery. There are 2 zealots, but lings, they can still focus down probes. Don't quite try to though, they pull away. Shin doesn't risk it. Pulls back, +1 melee. Now this can lead into Ling Hydra production. The lair is almost done. There is a Roach Warren on the way, but Shin may opt to skip Roaches and just go straight for the lair tech. Straight for Hydras. We'll see. We'll see what Shin does embrace. As Shameless, my apologies, not going into blink, going to charge. Okay. It's going to be +1 in charge. Alongside Archons. Shin, I'm sure hoping... Sorry, Shameless, I'm sure hoping that Shin goes into Hydra Tech. So far, Shin playing it safe. Oh, my... Of course. I just assumed that it was going to be Hydras for Shin. It's going to be the Spire. I mean, I should have guessed so. After what happened last time on Golden Aura. True. Ooh, the Oracles will scout, will confirm. A nice movement by Shameless. Does get eyes on the Spire. And already cannons are on the way. Shield batteries as well. With that Stargate, Shameless can embrace Phoenix production. But the site defense tells us that Shameless he saw. He did see the Spire. And how does Shin respond? Roaches. He's massing up a massive amount of roaches instead. The Observer should confirm this as well. The Observer parked over everything, actually. The Spire and the roaches. Shin, he sees. Sorry, Shameless, he sees. He knows. Lings, they threaten the 4th. Force the way. Phoenix production has begun. Shin is still banking resources. Hydrogen on the way. So Shin knows he got scouted. Does he still make Mutas? The answer is no. Again, I appreciate this. Shin still allows the tech structure to complete, and that means that Shameless, he invested into a shield battery, he invested into cannons, into Phoenixes, units that aren't really coming into play. So Shin, he respects Shameless, he pivots away into a Hydra Lurker instead. Has built up quite a large Roach force already. Moving out. Not much to support the ground army. Yeah, the 4th base is denied. Shin not ready for this. Invested heavily here into anti-muta tech. But there are no mutas. Zealot counterattack across the map. We'll get 3 drones, not bad. Getting a 4th. Rich Ravager poking in. 6 drones go down. Not bad. Shameless does get some damage across the map, but is still oversaturated. Still needs a 4th. And Shin does not let him expand. He's rocking up once again, but this time there are more zealots. Shameless, though, still cannot engage. Overcharge can help. Shin just dancing with the army. Hive is almost done. That's going to be for Lurker upgrades. Casito. Almost. Even a random queen? Get out of here, Papi. Queen is waddling back home. In the wrong neighborhood. Should make it back. And as Shin bleeds out some lings and roaches, he's replacing it with Hydras. With Hydras and soon Lurkers. As the Hive is now done. And again, all Shin was doing there wasn't just trading, but also denying the 4th. He was containing Shameless on 3 bases and denying the 4th for as long as he could. 4th base is now on the way, but it's so late. there are those upgrades. Seismic Spines, Adaptive Talons. Soon to embrace that Lurker tech. Again, Shin wants to throw away these roaches, distracting the main army. Roaches are becoming very quickly dead supply, as they don't really scale well into a longer game state. 11 lurkers on the way. The lunkers, they're coming! 11 of them. The lurker count is looking terrifying. And I'm sure Shin wants more. The lurker range is now done. And Storm is finishing up as well. Just in time for the fight. The lurkers, they will zone Shameless away. That range is brutal. Oh, fates out a Storm. Shameless working on a better angle. Does have the high ground. But cannot quite engage. Behind this, more lurkers, more hydras. Again, trading out some of the roaches. Oh, he wants high Templar. He gets one, gets two. Two High Templar go down. Greater Spiral on the way for Broodlords. Oh my god. Shin taking him even further. Both armies are maxed out. They are maxed. Shin gaining more ground. To have a revelation. Despite that, Zealots are falling. There's a Storm coming in. I think there's going to be one Storm left over, but the High Templar, they all go down. Oh, they do fly too close to the sun. High Templar, they walk within range of the Lurkers, and the Lurkers, they reign supreme. They shut down the ground army. Everything crumbles. There's 4 Lurkers left, and it is enough. Just barely. And Shin can keep pushing. Behind this, we have more Hydras, more Roaches on the way. Shin rallying across the map. There's a big stasis, though. Will delay some of the reinforcements. Despite that, Shin, he's still pushing through. The overcharge is not going to be good enough. GG gets called, and Shin will take the series 2-0, advancing on to the grand finals. GG. Whew. GG, well played. Shin will take the series. Again, was a bit of a different approach, going for a later game state, but was doing a great job at canceling the 4th and delaying the 4th for as long as possible, allowing Shin to drone up, to max out behind it, tech into Hive Tech, tech into Lurkers, into even a greater Spire as well for Broodlords, and everything he needed. And Shameless was just struggling to keep up, was contained for a little bit too long, and it was outscaled over time. GG. GG, well played. Congratulations to Shin. And with that, we have our 2 finalists. We have our 2 top players. It's going to be a ZVT between Shin and Beyond. GG. Here we go. We're hopping over to the Korean server, and this is going to be a rematch. Let's go. This is going to be a rematch between Byun and Shin. They have been facing off very often as of late. For those that maybe weren't here, Shin and Byun, they faced off in the finals of the last ESL Open Cup Asia. Not just that, but they've been facing off in other online tournaments as well, in the most recent KSL. If I'm not mistaken. Yeah, they faced off in a best of 3 in the semifinals of the Korean StarCraft League over the weekend. So they played in ESL Asia, in KSL, and now they face off here in the finals of the Tenacious Turtle Tussle. Both Shin and Byun, they're on that grind set. They are on that grind set, competing in every online event they can. Of course, Byun was last night's Sparkling Tuna Cup champion, but Shin was not there. Shin was not there last night to contest against him, but he's here this morning. Oh boy. The question becomes, did Byun sleep? do I want to know the answer to that question? Oh no. Not like this. Did Byun go to bed? Or is he going full degen? It's possible, it's possible. Aye. Likewise, tonight is going to be the Warty Monday Cup as well, and it's possible that both Byun and Shin will be up, awake, and available for that. Just non-stop tournaments here for our players. Do appreciate it. I mean, a shout out to the community as well, right, for bringing this all together, whether it's ourselves, whether it's Wardy, Dave Testa, Chicken Man, Steadfast, everyone just stepping up in their own way, everyone hosting their own events, stepping in the absence of ESL Open Cups. It's really cool. It's really inspiring and really motivating as well. Like, it's really cool to see the community rally together for all these tournaments and all these events for the players and for the scene, for StarCraft. Oh, do love to see it. Here we go. As the vetoes are done, the lobby is made, and we are jumping into game 1 on Oceanborn. And if you're in the chats, we're getting the gamba ready soon. We're getting ready. And spawning in the top left-hand corner of Oceanborn, we have our South Korean Terran player, the blue Terran representing Shopify Rebellion. It is Byun. And spawning in the bottom right-hand corner, we have his opponent. We have the South Korean Zerg player, the red Zerg representing Gaimin Gladiators. It is Shin. Going for the 15-15. Here we go again. So when it comes to the history, the most recent history between these two players, Shin did take down Byun in the last ESL Open Cup Asia 3-0 in the grand finals of a best of 5. Shin did 3-0 Byun, but in the KSL, Byun 2-0'd Shin. In the most recent KSL, Byun did take down Shin in a best of 3, but now we once again have a best of 5 format. They have been going back and forth. Who do I favor? I think I maybe slightly favor Byun, but this shouldn't be, I was going to say it shouldn't be one-sided. Both times they faced off, it was one-sided. So it's hard to say, Bobby. It's hard to say. Oh, I'm hoping for a back and forth, though, regardless of the result. I'm hoping for a game 4, potentially a game 5. We'll see. Again, Shin going for a safe opener, 15-15, is designed to be safe against specifically 2-Rax Reaper. As we can see, Rax Expand. Standard opener out of Byun. He does avoid the Reaper shenanigans. The last time Byun did play 2-Rax Reaper against Shin, Shin was so quick and so fast to punish Byun as well, so I don't really see Byun embracing that opener too often this series. Regardless, predictions are about to close, so make sure you were able to place your bets in time. The gamba pack. Make sure you were able to pull it off. As the predictions should now be closed, and we can embrace the game. Reaper moves out, past the turtle, let's go. As always, the turtle is a reference for those who are maybe unaware. A couple of years ago now, back in 2021, and even before that, we were hosting a tournament called the Battle of the Americas, the Batalla de las Americas. It was a region-locked weekly tournament for the North American and South American region. And we would cast out on a weekly basis. Did eventually stop. Did eventually come to an end in 2022, if I remember correctly. And with it coming to an end, there was no longer a weekly tournament for the Americas region. It just didn't exist anymore. So we decided to bring it back. And the reason why we made it a turtle is because the original admin and organizer of the Battle of the Americas was Darking. Darking La Tortuga, papi. He's known for he owns like 7 tortoises. He is La Tortuga, papi. He is. So in reference to Darking, we did opt to go for the sea turtle as our mascot for the event, and we did run the Tenacious Turtle Tussle last year for a couple of editions. Unfortunately, there wasn't as much interest. Again, previously it was region locked. It was region locked to only North and South America, and I guess Central America as well. It's only the regions of the Americas. And we opened it up, of course, to Oceania, but yeah, alas, there just wasn't as much interest, so now it's back in a more open format. Open to all regions, all shapes, all sizes is back. And of course, we still have the mascot. I feel like he needs a name. Meanwhile, Hellions, they go for the dive. They dive into the natural. Well, so far, no major damage. 2 drones going down. We get another volley. 4 drone kills. Nicely done here by Bjorn. 4 drones for 1 Hellion. Nice start here for the Terran player. Oh, Shin did invest quite heavily into these Lings, and he has to make use of them. Back at home, it is going to be a 3cc into Starport. Sorry, 3cc 2-on-1. 3cc 2-on-1 out of Bjorn. Very economic, leading into drop play, leading into a Marine move out, into a stim timing. But Bjorn is investing into extra Hellions. Usually you don't quite commit this hard. This can lead into a Hellbat push as well. We'll see if an armory gets thrown down with the stim timing. As there's Yadonsol for the Medivacs. Shin getting ready. Did attempt to scout. Yeah, it does get eyes on the main army. Ooh, bleeding out some Lings. Shin is still droning up, but should be getting ready for that move out. Oh, the Roach Warren is denied. Roach Warren is going to be delayed. The Lings, they dive in, but again, a lot of the Lings are out of position. As the Hellion gets into the middle line for a second time. But only 1 Hellion won't get much done. And we spoke about the Hellbat push. There it is. Armory. Armory has been thrown down. The amount of Hellions that were made is suspicious, so Bjorn is going for a 2-on-1 Hellbat push instead. But did bleed out a lot of Hellions already. Only has 2 Hellions left. Oh, okay. So this armory is a little bit less than ideal. It's only for 2 Hellions, only 2 Hellbats. It's not going to be as impactful as it otherwise could have been. Already this game, 4 Hellions have fallen. So Bjorn maybe being a little bit overly aggressive. Throwing away too much. It's now moving out. The Hellions are going to be reinforcing. Okay, 3 Hellions. Never mind. We have an extra Hellbat. As Bjorn is pushing forward. But remember, he is not all in. It was a 3cc based opener. Does have a strong economy. Does move forward. Takes down a lot of the creep. The Queens are ready. Roaches are on the way. 7 Roaches, but they're still in production. 1 Queen goes down. And 1 Queen does fall, and there's not enough transfuse. Second, third, every single Queen going to be falling, and Bjorn is catching shit with his pants down. The Roaches, they just barely weren't ready in time. And can we attribute that to the denied Roach Warren? Remember, it was delayed for a couple of seconds, and a couple of seconds is all it takes. 15 drones go down, and Bjorn has done critical damage. GG gets called, and Bjorn takes game number 1. Whew. GG. Again, the Roaches, they were just a couple of seconds too late. They were needed. They were necessary for the move out, for that stim timing. And remember, that initial Roach Warren was delayed by a couple of seconds as well. I'm sure that did impact this defense, did impact the game. I don't know if I want to say that that directly led into the reason why Bjorn was able to kill Shin then and there, but I'm sure it helped. Sure it did help. GG with that. Bjorn takes the lead. But it is a sea turtle, true. It is a sea turtle. Not a tortoise. Ah. But yeah, we have like an aquatic based mascot for all of our events. We have the Tenacious Turtle Tussle, we have the Sparkling Tuna Cup, we have the Sea Duckling Open, we have the Master Swan Open, and we have the Grand Platypus Open as well. Ah, the platypus. I miss the platypus. It's very cute. But here we go, we're getting into our next game, and spawning in the bottom right hand corner of Site Delta, we have the South Korean Terran player, the Blue Terran, leading the series 1-0, representing Shopify Rebellion. It is Bjorn. And spawning in the top left hand corner, we have his opponent. We have the South Korean Zerg player, the Red Zerg, representing Gaiman Gladiators. It is Shin. Here we go. We're selling into game number 2. Again, game 1 was very intense, was very close as well. If Shin had a couple more seconds to pump out those Roaches, then we would have seen a cleaner defense, would have seen a longer game. Remember, Bjorn was not all in. He was not all in with his move outs, but it looks like Shin maybe wasn't expecting Hellbats to be incorporated, wasn't expecting that move out to hit as hard as it did. And did catch Shin. You know what? With his pants down. Ah, the pants, they were down, Bappy. Always. Always. Let's go. Once again, we do have Beyond going for the Rax Expand. Likewise, Shin going Hatch Gas Pool. Settling in. From here, we can calm things down and work towards a longer game state. Again, we're loading inside Delta, a much larger map. Is a little more wider open as well. As a result, it can sometimes deter aggression in the mid-game and can lead into a longer game state. Things get quite chaotic as well. We'll see where this leads us. As Shin is going for the third, and the Reaper has arrived. Again, just going to be dancing with the army. Beyond shouldn't get any drone kills. Does threaten the Lings at least. Shin forced to pull away. Beyond getting to the mineral line. The Ling's getting very low, and one Ling does go down. The drone! Oh my god. Casito. Almost. Drone does survive. Shin holds. Whew. Shin does hold behind this Beyond. Oh my god. Calm down. Beyond trying to find another way in. Is zoned away behind this. Beyond going for the third TC. Third TC before Starport. This time there is no 2-on-1. There is no stim timing. Instead embracing a heavier Hellion count into Banshee. Potentially Banshee. Could always go into Liberators instead. We'll see the direction that Beyond takes us in. But a very different follow-up, a very different build to what we had last game. As there's that tech lab on the racks, this should be leading into an add-on swap. Otherwise, this could be for a Viking, and you can leave the racks on the tech lab, go for a faster stim. There's the add-on swap. We go. Ooh, Beyond going Viking first. Now, this is something that both Beyond and Maru like to mix in. What I'm referring to here is that usually you would not go for the Viking, you'd go for a Banshee first. Technically, this is inefficient because it means that your Banshees are later, that is true, but because you're going initially for the Viking, that will kind of, that would delay the delay the Banshee and make it look like you're even avoiding Banshee play entirely. You're trying to pull a fast one over on the Zerg player. As the Viking will deny the scouts, and the likelihood of this being Banshees is that much lower. Shin going for a fast Roach Warren. Roach Warren has been thrown down. The Overlord Scout is denied.
Show me those skills.
It's a Diva Enjoyer. Here we go. And I'm going to be concerned if Shin does commit to a Roach move out. We'll see if it's just for safety or if he intends to commit to aggression. As the Viking is hunting down additional Overlords and containing Shin. And that is going to be 7 Roaches on the way. Up to 8. Okay, he's still droning though. That's what we're keeping an eye on. It is going to be a move out from Shin, but it looks like it's not going to be an all-in if he makes more drones. Yeah, there we go, he's droning. So Shin is droning. This initial Roach move out is designed to get some damage done, maybe force an overreaction. We'll see if they can get across the map. And they're waddling back. They're waddling. Alright, moving out. Banshee towards the left-hand side. There is a Spore in position. Shin not cutting any corners. We have a Spore in every mineral line. The Banshee will still find some damage. Gets 2 drones. Oh, gets just the one. There we go. It's a second. At the same time, Roaches, they get across the map. They do catch some of the Hellions. There Marines in position. They buy time. And we're not getting much done, but Lings, they come in to reinforce the surround. The Hellions are cleaned up. And Shinny busts into natural. GG gets called as Beyond gets caught with his pants down. And Shin ties up the series 1-1. GG. Oh my god. Remember, Shin was droning up behind this. He was droning, he was getting a lair, he was taking up. But with the surround on those Hellions, that is all that Bjorn had to defend. The Banshee was across the map, the Hellions were surrounded, and nothing else meant that the third base was forfeit, the natural as well. So Shin able to deal some critical damage, and we have a back and forth. Let's go. That's all we wanted, Papi. That's all we wanted. A back and forth. And now we're getting into game number 3. Oh my god, a little bit surprised that this was not vetoed. We're loading into Dynasty. Okay, I was not expecting that. Dynasty, if you remember, we saw this during KSL between Shin and Bjorn, where Shin did expand linearly and tried to go for a roach all-in, but was did kind of fumble the ball a little bit. Bjorn was able to scout, was able to shut down the initial all-in, and then Shin fell behind, as he wasn't able to embrace it. But we'll see how we approach the game this time. As spawning in the bottom left-hand corner of Dynasty, we have the South Korean Terran player, the Red Terran, representing Shopify Rebellion, being forced into a tied-up series. Can he bring it back? It is Bjorn. And spawning in the top right-hand corner, going for the gold! Going for a very different response. It is still a 15-15. We have the South Korean Zerg player tying it up and looking to maintain that momentum. Representing Gaimin Gladiators, it is Shin. Rushing into that gold base. Now, this should be for Roach aggression. Once again, this should be for the fast Richardson Gas Geyser into a Roach-based all-in. It's going to be on Bjorn to scout, to punish this base, and to get a read of what's going on. Whether it is an all-in or just a more standard game. Let's see how Bjorn does respond. Now, you can see that Bjorn, he's rallied to that expansion. Just checking. Yeah. You can see here he's rallied to the base. He's fully aware to scout that, to prioritize scouting at that gold. And Bjorn likewise going for his own gold base as well. See in the chat. Now neither of them have pants, so now it's even. True. The pants are off for everyone, Papi. Oh my. As Bjorn is going for a 2-on-1. Rax expand into a 2-1-1. Interesting. Now we did see this previously from Bjorn, and especially against Roach-based play, this can actually work quite well. We'll see. As first Reaper is moving out. Reaper does get across the map, does get eyes on the saturation, on the expansion. Ooh, does threaten the drones and does force out a spore. Second spore as well. And soon to be a third spore. Can we get a fourth? Oh, not quite. Up the drones! They're still low! Oh my god! Oof. As it looks like one drone goes down to the KDA charge. That was so close. That could have been so much worse for Shin, but he saves the mineral line. And there's that Roach Warren. Hidden behind the main base, the Roach Rush is upon us. Now, what is a little bit scary here is that because this was a 2-on-1 build by Bjorn, that means the factory is later than normal. The factory is delayed. That means that the tank and cyclone production also delayed. It means that Bjorn only has Marines and a bunker to work with. Oh boy. Now, if Bjorn can survive the early game, it's a different kind of game state, of course. Bjorn's real strength lies in the mid game. Can he get there? As Shin is droning. Did make a handful of roaches, but looks like just to harass. Okay. It's going to be 2 Ravagers and 3 roaches on the right hand side. The goal here is to harass the goal base. It looks like he's not looking to break into the main. That is not the goal. As yeah, there's no link speed. There's no link speed either. Roaches have arrived. Ravagers as well. With the help of the high ground vision, it's going to attempt to pile down that depot. And Bjorn is stuck on a 1-base economy. The Roaches, they deny any kind of mining. And the depot is under fire. And remember, Shin is droning. Lair is on the way. Gas is being taken. Damage is being done. But Beyond won't die. Beyond, he will eventually be able to stabilize. Medivacs are on the horizon. And with the arrival of the Medivacs, with the arrival of Stim, Beyond can break out. And then it's going to be on Shin to survive and to defend the 2-1-1. Oh my god. As the Overlord, it barely survives. Oh, he's crazy. He's going back in. He wants more. I mean, so far so good. Shin is chipping away at the bunker. Here comes the drop play, and Beyond, he wants the Ravagers. He wants them, and he's gonna get them. The Vials. Oh, they take down one Marine. Decent kiting here from Shin, but he will lose all the Ravagers. The Overlord as well. Still no mining at the gold. But Beyond can finally embrace it. Meanwhile, back at home, Shin, he is making roaches, splitting up his army. The creep is lacking. It's going to be difficult to defend both locations at once. And that is the advantage that Beyond has. Mobility. He can hit the gold. He can go for the main. He can go for the would-be third. Where does Beyond... How does he approach this? Or even just hunt down the Overlords. Reinforcements on the way. Overlord's getting caught out. Shin getting supply blocks. Has to be careful. The roaches, okay, they will force a pickup. And Beyond can just drop over the wall. Oh, but there are roaches in position. Shin, he's ready. Oh, he's ready, Pat. Defends the mineral line, denies the drop. More Roach Ravager massing. So far, Shin is keeping up. He's looking good. Happy, where are your pants? Oh no. Not like this. They're all gone. Now in the middle of this defense, Shin, he does take out a couple of Ravagers. He's going for the mineral line. There are two tanks in position, but the mineral line can still be piled down. Drop back behind the mineral line once again though. Across the map. Oof. One Ravager does fall. Shin, he pulls back. He's racing back home. Barely saves the mineral line. Shin getting his third up and running. Still droning. So far he's keeping up with Beyond. And Beyond has thrown down a third CC. Okay, I was curious if he was going for a 2-base all-in, but no, the third CC is now done. Beyond is likewise building up. The game is settling down. The game is settling down, and it's just a really awkward game state. On the one hand, I want to give the edge to Shin just because of his economy, just because of his mining, of course, and his setup, but at the same time, he has so little map control. Gets a contamination on the racks, let's go. But there's like so little creep spread, there's so little creep, there's so little map vision as well. So it's just a really awkward game state for Shin. Getting into Roach Hydra. Playing like dark. Meanwhile, Beyond has broken out. Going for his own move out. Tanks have arrived. And can Shin save the gold? The first tumor has been thrown down. Let's go. But here comes the army. Here comes Beyond. Shin trying to keep up. Spots the main force. Doesn't have much to protect the Ravagers. Roaches are on the way. The first tank does siege, but it's going to be piled down. Big pickoff. Tank and a medevac. Shin is holding. Shin is barely holding on. Piles down another tank. Again, so important that he takes down a tank every time. And we'll get another. Ah, but he loses his roaches. The roaches, they go down. Ravagers are exposed, but the Hydras, they arrive just in time. And Shin holds. Whew. Shin barely holds on. Was a costly trade. Looking at the resources lost, 26 roaches, 9 Ravagers. And Bjorn is getting ready for the second wave, for the second round. Did save 2 of his tanks. And is continuing tank production. Bjorn wants to knock down that base. And there's still no creep. Alright, pushing forward. Decent concave here for Shin. But he can't get on top of the tanks. Has to trade with the bio instead. Third tank has arrived. And Shin has to try to knock them down. We'll try to get one of those tanks. One tank will fall. There's still 2 behind this. Still a very, very close fight. Gas Geyser runs out. Shin resaturating. Embracing more Ling Hydra. Shin is still up against the wall. But does try to commit in. And we'll get some vials off. Oh my god. Doesn't get the tanks though. Yeah, the vials were split. The tanks are low, but they're still up. And Bjorn still trying to force his way through. Gets a queen. Almost gets a Ravager. And it looks like Bjorn may have just done it. He might just have enough. I say that. The vials. They take down another tank. Oh my god, but the Ravagers, they expose themselves. There we go, just 1 tank left. Shin, he holds on. Takes down the Medivac. Gets a Medivac. Almost gets another. Yeah, second Medivac does fall. Bjorn forced back just before 2-2 finishes. And Shin has to get the hell out of here. He has to pull away. Bjorn muling his heart out, getting his 4th base up and running. Bjorn does have a solid economy behind this. And checking his production here, he is A-Raxing. But he's on the 4th base. He's just being hyper-aggressive, continuing tanks, Marines, and Marauders. Shin does have some breathing room, though. Getting ready for a counterattack. The army is spotted. Bjorn, he rotates his scans, sees the army. Bjorn is keeping up. Shin pushing into a tank line. And once again can barely knock it on top of the tanks. Yeah, Bjorn, he will hold the line. Shin overextending. And Shin is beating out too much. Bjorn going for the dive, takes down the Hydras, the Ravagers, the Roaches as well. GG gets called, it's just too much, and Bjorn will take a lead 2-1. GG. And Shin, he was defending on a knife's edge. It was a very impressive defense there out of Shin, but he barely didn't have enough to counterattack. He did still try to, though, and again, pushing into 3 tanks like that, he bled out far too much, traded too poorly, and GG. Bjorn does take a 2-1 lead, and one more game, Bjorn will take it. One more game is all that Bjorn needs. Again, there's a reason why we don't often see Dynasty. It is often vetoed, but Shin has been embracing it as of late. Has been vetoing other maps, of course. Now we're getting into game number 4. It could all end here. I'm hoping for an ace match. I'm hoping for a game 5. We're loading into post-youth. Here we go. Pappy, why are your pants down? I just want to blend in with the players, Pappy. Here we go. We're getting into game number 4 and spawning in the bottom left-hand corner of post-youth. We have our South Korean Terran player leading the series 2-1. 1 game away from becoming our Tenacious Turtle Tussle champion. It is Bjorn. And spawning in the top right-hand corner, we have his opponent. We have the South Korean Zerg player, the Red Zerg, representing Gaiman Gladiators. Down in the series, can he fight back here and now and force the ace match? It is Shin. Going for the 15-15. 15 hatchery into the 15 spawning pool. Is settling in. Going to be settling in here. And now the turns do table a little bit. You know, even though Dynasty is, I would say, more favored towards Terran and TVZ, Post-Youth more favored towards Zerg. I mean, at least when it comes to how open the center of the map can be. We have seen Terran players, Clem specifically, look very impressive when it comes to turtling up and even sieging forward into a late game stage on Post-Youth. I'm not sure if Bjorn will really go for that kind of style. We'll see. We shall see. Shin is just going for his 15-15 into his spawning pool, into his gas geyser. Bjorn likewise racks expand. And again, I don't know if you noticed, but Bjorn has not gone for 2x Reaper at all this series. Even though it's his go-to, we mentioned before that the last time Bjorn was relying on that build, on that opener in the ESL Asia Finals, Shin shut Bjorn down every single time. So Bjorn is avoiding it. Let's avoid it, moves out across the map. Gets a scatter what's going on. And should be feeling pretty safe, even gets a kill on a Ling. Nice pickup. Getting one Ling, getting a second Ling as well. Nice Valley here with the Reaper. And will eventually be shut down by the Queens. Or will he get away? Does he get a drone? He gets one! Oh my god. Yeah, rough start for Shin. Losing 2 Lings and a drone for the Reaper. Behind this, Bjorn going into a 3rd CC. 3 CC setup back at home. So a macro opener by Bjorn. Likewise Shin getting to his 3rd. And we can see it's going to be 3 CC into a starport, potentially Banshee play. We saw on side Delta that Bjorn did go for this build, went into Banshees, went into a Viking first, into a later Banshee instead. We'll see if he goes for the same kind of opener. So we're going to be calming things down, settling in, droning up. Shin getting into his 3rd. And of course we have the potential goal base as well. I mentioned before, I mean, didn't get to really bring it up, but again, one of the unique quirks here about this map, and the reason why it's often vetoed, is because of the in-base natural, with gold minerals as well, which does favor some races more than others, depending on their playstyles, of course. So these 2 bases are quite secure. 3rd, a little bit less so. A little bit. Shin is still able to keep up and zone away those Hellions. Does zone away more Queens in production. Shin did get Ling speed. Just has enough Lings to defend against a Hellion dive. Nothing too crazy. Likewise, Overlord goes for the dive as well and does get eyes on the Banshee. So nice scout by Shin. This time there is no Viking first, just going Banshee into... Okay, fake cloak. In my brain, I don't know if you could hear the cogs turning. I was like, interference magics? What? And then I'm like, oh, okay, it's just fake. Okay. It's all good. I was very perplexed for a moment. But it does cancel, so he's not doubling down on Cloak Banshee. He's forcing out spores and spores that are otherwise unnecessary. Instead, Bjorn going into a 5-rack setup with 2 extra eBays. Oh my god. Bjorn, it looks like he wants the 8 racks. This is quite a setup that he's got going on. So we do have our 5-rack setup initially. We're waiting for 3 extra racks. That's what we're waiting for. And that will confirm the 3 base all in. Also, a lack of gases at the 3rd. If he doesn't take them, I should say. Meanwhile, Shin behind this going into 1-1. It was a double Evo chamber opener, or follow-up, into a more delayed Bailey nest, into delayed bailing speed. So Shin is going to be prioritizing his upgrades. Bjorn is poking in, testing the waters. Banshee's on the right-hand side. Catch a drone. Just keeping Shin busy, keeping preoccupied. Shin is amassing a lot of lings. And Björn backs off. He backs off for now. Building up his own forces. Overlord speed is on the way, but it looks like we're just using it for scouting information. Shin is going to be getting ready for his Overseer Scouts. Still just droning. Armory's almost done for 2-2. Jan's still on 5 Raxes, getting ready for his move outs. 2 tanks, a pretty hefty bio army. Armory is going to be done not just for 2-2, but for Hellbats as well. The Hellions are kept at home for now, in case there is a run-by. Björn is moving out, trying to lay siege upon that fort. Banelings are on the way, but they're not ready yet. Just Link Queen for now. Banelings are not set up. Hellions have arrived to reinforce. Hellbats being morphed in to protect the tanks. And Shinny's under a lot of pressure. Still only 10 Banelings. There we go, 3 more on the way. Not many Banelings to work with. And Björn, he's looking to break through here and now. Takes down a queen, takes down almost another. Shin setting up a surround coming from left-hand side. Attempting to flank the army. But there are Hellbats in position. And Shinny goes for it. Goes to the dive. Banelings, they will crash in. They shut down the Hellbats. We're trying to get on top of the tanks, but the spread is looking too good. And Björn, he's going to hold on. He holds. He shuts down the Lingbane, getting on top of the queens. And Shin is in trouble. He's in a lot of trouble here. Queens are going down left and right. Running out of transfused energy. And it looks like Björn has done it. Björn has broken through. The rest of the reinforcements have arrived. 3 more Rexes behind this. It was a 3-base all-in. And Björn has done it. Shin was hoping for a longer game state. The Hive is on the way, but we're not going to see the Hive. It's not going to happen. GG gets called, and Björn will snowball out of control. Will take the series 3-1, becoming this week's Tenacious Turtle Tussle champion. GG. Oh my god. GG, well played. A very aggressive, very assertive build here by Björn. Again, when we saw the Rax explosion, it was like, oh my god, we're setting up for a 3-base all-in. The 3 Raxes were on the way behind it, but the initial move out was insane, and Shin just could not hold on, did not have enough Lingbane to survive the initial wave of aggression. Remember, Shin, he was building up towards a later game. He had 2-2 on the way, he had the Hive on the way as well. He was getting ready for a longer game state, but he was caught out. GG. GG, well played. Björn, with the killer instinct, was able to end the game then and there, not allowing Shin to get into his own game. Congratulations. My condolences to Shin, but I do appreciate that at least we did have a series. We had a back and forth. It wasn't one-sided. It wasn't a 3-0. I'm still perplexed as to why we're allowing Dynasty through the vetoes. It happened in KSL. It happened here as well. What are the vetoes looking like? I don't know if I want to see. But regardless, congratulations, well played, and well won here for Björn. And as a reminder, if you want to help support this tournament, you can do so via Matcherino. Matcherino is set up here for the event. Don't forget to join the Matcherino. Matcherino is set up for the tournament, so you can help fund the event if you wish. The Matcherino is just for this specific weekly, and there's going to be a Matcherino page for every single edition of the Tenacious Turtle Tussle. So plenty of ways to support if you wish. Otherwise, a big shout out to the people sponsoring the event. A shout out to Protostegosaurus for boosting the prize pool, and a shout out to Mark BT as well for the initial investment. So again, a lot of the money is coming from the community, from some very passionate fans of StarCraft, both Mark BT and Stegosaurus as well. Much love, thank you so much. Without them, this event would not be possible. This event would not be here. So much love, much support. Thank you, thank you, thank you so much for the passion. Thank you so much. With that, GG, well played. Congratulations to our 2 finalists, and not just our 2 finalists, but all top 4 players, bearing in mind that top 4 do make it into the money. So shout out to Byeon, Shin, Mixu, and Shameless for making it into that top 4. Very well deserved. And we'll be back next week. Of course, we'll be back next week. We are scheduled to run this event for the next 6 weeks. For the next 6 weeks moving forward. So mark your calendars for the next Tenacious Turtle Tussle. Likewise, we're not done for today. Later on tonight in, is it 10 hours? Oh boy. In 9 hours. In 9 hours time, we're going to be live with the Warty TV Monday. With the Warty TV Monday Cup, Warty has also stepped up and stepped in and is also hosting his own weekly tournament. We are going to be casting that here on the channel. We're going to be one of the side streams for Warty's event. Likewise, tomorrow in just under 24 hours, we're also going to be casting the Ursasaurus Cup. That is an event that has been organized by the community as well, also to replace ESL Open Cup Americas. So 2 big events on the horizon. Warty TV Monday in 9 hours time, and Ursasaurus Cup in 22 hours. 22 hours here, so back-to-back events. We also have Code for Giants Cup on Wednesday. We have the Pondcast on Thursday. We have plenty more content on the way. As always, Papi, as always. GG. Yeah, you can also help support us if you wish for our other tournaments, for events like Sea Duckling Open, Master Swan Open, and Sparkling Tuna Cup as well, via Patreon. You can see just under Shin's name, just under his name, you can see our goals for Patreon, or our next stretch goal for Patreon, and where we currently are. So if you want to help boost our other tournament prize pools, you can do so via Patreon. Otherwise, watching and following is all that we ask. We do host and we do stream events here on Twitch, and our VODs are also on YouTube. So if you do want to check us out on YouTube, you can do so. We also stream on both platforms, both on YouTube and Twitch, so you can watch us live, in whichever place you do prefer. And likewise, VOD content is also available on YouTube immediately, right after the stream. All the VODs are there. All the VODs are available. Beautiful. Otherwise, thank you for watching. Thank you for watching. Thank you for tuning in. We do appreciate the support. I hope you all enjoyed yourselves. The turns have they've tabled, Papi. They've tabled. But I hope you've all enjoyed yourselves. With that, we're going to be wrapping up here for the morning. I did mention that in 9 hours, we're going to be casting the Warty event. I might try to nap in between this tournament and the Warty event as well. That's probably the go-to. I should nap for a couple of hours. But before the nap, before the Warty events, I'm going to be laddering. I'm going to be hosting a ladder session on my personal channel. If you want to tune in, you can. Otherwise, thank you. Thank you for watching. Thank you for supporting the event, supporting the tournament, and we'll be back next week as well for some more Turtle Tussle action. For some more turtles back. We're going to be there. Otherwise, I'm going to be laddering on light_VIP on Twitch. Just a cheeky ladder session, nothing too crazy. I don't often get time to ladder nowadays, but I'm trying to be consistent. I'm trying to ladder every weekday. So from Monday to Friday, trying to ladder for at least a couple of hours. So that is going to be the plan. Otherwise, otherwise we'll see you tonight or tomorrow. You know, depending on where you are in the world, we have content for you regardless. All the content, all the casting, all the StarCraft. Otherwise, thank you for watching. You can follow us on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, you know, all things CranKy Ducklings, all the social media platforms, Blue Sky, Mastodon, we're all over the place. We post whenever we go live. We have a Discord server as well that you can join, where you can also be notified when we do come out with a stream. Likewise, YouTube videos as well. And yeah, we'll see you guys next time. Until then, thank you for watching. Hasta luego. Ciao, papi, ciao. Hasta luego.